We are gathered here today to honor a man, a child, but also a man today. We lost another one in the music industry, the music community, to a mistake that did not have to happen. Tragedies like this happen every day, but it's very rare that somebody actually gets decimated to the extent that one man was today. I am, of course, discussing the one, the only, the Machine Gun Kelly. He was a young man with much potential. He had a heart, and he had promise, man. He was making a name for himself. It's so sad to see this white on white crime continue. Didn't have to end like this. So with this, I would like to say, rest in peace, Machine Gun Kelly's entire career. And anyone else who thinks of dissing Marshall, Slim Shady, MNM Mathers. Ladies and gentlemen, and all genders in between, it's as you can say, as a very a different day here in the community. We have to honor some, but we must move forward, and that's what this show is all about. And so we are here today to try to make light of this situation as best we can, try to get you to forget about the tragedies that this world is going through. Oh, there's a hurricane happening, by the way, in the States as well, the Southeast, I believe. But nothing can compare to the over 20 million demolishment that happened just a few hours ago with the recent Eminem/MGK beef developments, as you may have known. Wow. Trillion's very, very demoralized right now, as you can see. It's gotten to him. I think he gave up. Yeah, he definitely gave up.
The Japanese, you'll never take me alive.
Hi.
Did we start?
I think so. Did we?
Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, we did. We did.
I'm sorry, guys. Louis just made me listen to that diss track, and like I had a moment of self. Like I remembered the wars, the wars I've been in. Like I've never seen such brutality, such catastrophe. Like it just brought me to tears. It's so sad.
Did that much to you, did it? No, it's hard. It's been hard for all of us. You know, the game will never be the same.
Truly, truly a sad moment, indeed, indeed. What can be said after this, Louis?
That's the worst part. Nothing.
Well, yeah. My only problem with all this is why Eminem isn't dissing literally anybody else. Like, what did this guy do? Did he like swear as his daughter or something?
No, he ate Cheerios in a music video, which is a no-no. Okay, you gotta be more professional than that. Okay, eat your lunch before you get on set. This is your career, bro. Come on now.
I mean, tell me, who was that guy anyway? The like machine gun, whatever. Like, I don't know what he is. I saw the carnage, but I don't know what he is. Like, what's the history?
Yeah, I already forgot too. He is I think he's a singer, I think. Definitely an artist. Maybe watercolor. Maybe of the lyrical descent. I'm not sure entirely. The point is he's gone today and no one really cares.
Well, whatever it is. We can, like, what's happening in the US, man? You got hurricanes, you got Eminem dropping albums, kamikazes everywhere, and everybody's okay with it. Like, how come Eminem gets to call his album Kamikaze and nobody cares? But when a black person says kamikaze, it's bad, huh? Where's the social justice in that, huh?
I agree. Okay. I've been fighting this injustice for years as well. I'm tired of certain groups being able to own words. I'm not a fan of how black people are allowed to say the N-word, but other groups are not. Like they own the word. Okay. By that logic, then white people should be the only ones to say cracker, and Hispanics the only ones to say spicks or beaners, and Asians the only ones to say chinks, specifically the Chinese. No man, but kamikaze, that's a new one. Yeah, that's a new word. I don't think anyone's allowed to say that. After
Yeah, I know. I think the only reason like Eminem got away with it is because nobody knows what kamikaze means, except the people who don't care. That's the genius of that word choice. Because everybody knows nigger, everybody knows transphobic, everybody knows racist, everybody knows all of these fancy words. But you have to have some sort of education. You know, you had to wake up in high school to know what a kamikaze means. So when he says, "I'm a fucking kamikaze," they're like, "Oh, plane, okay, yeah, I guess it does." Ooh.
Hello.
All right, gentlemen. Our guest today has arrived.
and the family reunion continues.
Today we have a special guest for y'all. Remember that meme anthropologist guy I told you about? Well, this is him. Everybody say hi. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi everyone. My name is something really long in Arabic, so how about you just call me Abi for short?
Hi, Abby.
Hi.
How is you today?
How is me? I'm doing great. I just woke up actually.
Oh, me too.
Me,
I think for different reasons, though.
Oh.
I had to take a nap because of the. Well, when you rewatch the stream, we were given a eulogy. Anyway, continue, please.
Well,
shut up, Trillion.
yes.
This is not your time.
Okay, fine.
Well, I've heard from Trillion that somehow I need to give a lecture about memes, and I'm like, I cannot refuse this.
Yes, that's exactly why you're here.
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
With that said, shall we officially open up the introductions? Louis, hit it.
Hit what?
Come on, the opening line. Okay, I'll do it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Anime Law, where respect is a
suggestion. You're not gonna steal my thunder, bitch.
And now we throw the glasses for the uneducated.
They're stuck. Okay.
I can see.
For the people who are wondering, yes, this is a male, and yes, he is from Kuwait, and that is fine. You don't have to make a tantrum about it.
Thank you.
We have those too. We have to suffer from the same plague you're all suffering from. It's fine.
Do I hear bigotry this early in my
Yes.
stream?
Yes, you see, there's a rule of thumb here in Kuwait: as the beard increases, the bigotry increases as well. So, yeah, yes.
That's true.
Oh,
So that's why you
everyone's wearing hats
shouldn't.
again.
And that's why I'm the least bigoted person in Kuwait.
I mean, it didn't stop me the previous 2 seasons from trashing everybody in the anime community and being a bigot. But hey, I was a closeted bearded person, I guess.
How's
No,
that
you were a closeted other thing.
Could be. Why not?
Hey, it's 2018. We've learned to embrace.
Yes. We've learned that saying that. What was it? Like, I have to say this on stream, which is like CD Projekt Red, their new game, Cyberpunk 77, they were just showing some gameplay, right? And what was it? Somebody wrote at Twitter, like, we want more guy or something like that. Or we want more guys, something like that. Like, give us more, right? And somebody replied, guy, why can't it be a gal? Yeah, why can't it be a gal? Just randomly. Like, the developers, one of the Twitter accounts on them, they're like, yeah, let's write a funny joke. And the entire SJW community like attacked them
Because
for being
of course
transphobic.
they did.
Yeah. They attacked them for being transphobic, right? And they were like talking about how they won't buy the game, like they knew what the game is, right? Like they were keeping up, but now they're not gonna buy it, right? And I love the response that CD Projekt Red gave them. You gotta love the Polish. They're like, when you have to say sorry, but you say it in the most passive aggressive way, to the point where the apology,
these days.
like, they said sorry, but not really. Let me look up the official response so I don't butcher it. CD Projekt Red.
And when was this?
This was a few weeks back. But they don't tweet that often. I think it's in Cyberpunk 77 to be more specific. So Cyberpunk 77 Twitter, and I can find this real quick, which is let's see. They got a lot of new content out, so everybody forgot about this issue. But yeah, here it is. Quote, sorry to all those offended by one of the responses sent out from our account earlier. Harming anyone was never our intention. End quote.
It's
that's very simplistic.
Yes, it's the most by the book. It's passive. It's only passive aggressive because everybody tries to do too much with apologies. I never meant to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't want anyone to feel offended. I'm sorry. And
I think that actually pissed them off more because they expect you to be so apologetic, but they weren't. They're like by the book. And I really like the technique, the ultimate technique that JW is trying to implement. Gentlemen, you have lost a customer you never had. Like, come on, you never bought the game.
Yeah, no, why do the people that attack them assume that they're all men, too?
No. You know what the best thing is? That's like the excuse like soccer moms use when they're in a store, right? To get something out of like a store owner. I'm not going back to the shop ever again, right? Like that threat ever works, right? And they use it en masse, and people who aren't equipped for it panic. Comedians panicked. A lot of people panicked, and I'm glad CD Projekt Red did not.
Well, the funny thing with I think they cracked the code, right? Everybody hates social justice warriors, but they don't know entirely how to respond to them. And they managed to do so in a way that technically didn't offend anyone, yet somehow ended up offending them more.
I think mainly because they can afford it, honestly. Like, not a lot of people can afford an attack like that.
That is a true point. Like, and that's the thing with like the Polish being Polish, is that they've been raped enough. They can handle SJWs. Don't worry about that. Like, there's nothing SJWs can say that didn't happen to Poland. So those guys are well equipped. Those guys are well equipped to handle the stress. Dude, I love the Polish. So every time they get a win, I just raise my cup. But yeah, my fangirling over Poland aside, today we're talking about memes.
Yes.
And their cultural relevance.
Yes.
Yes. So just like we did with Professor Khalid, Professor Abby, please educate us on the history of memes.
Sure. First of all, we need to understand the nature of a meme, or what is a meme. And I guess the best way to describe it is actually like looking at the origin of the word. The origin of the word actually came, yeah, I know, I'm going full scientific on this bitch. The origin of the word was actually said, like, it got popularized by, what's his name, Dawkins? The biologist guy, the biologist nerd, who actually sounds like a nerd.
Charles Darwin?
Darwin?
No, Dawkins. The Dawkins destroys religious person with truth.
Yeah, what's his name? Richard Dawkins? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that
bitch ass?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
He's a meme too.
Yeah, like basically he described it because you see, like, when you look at your genes, like you have the DNA and you have specific genes in it. And he said that everything that makes culture, it has memes, which are like the genes for culture. So every single instance of these elements is a meme, which actually makes part of our culture, which ultimately gives you the entire culture. So based on that, we know that a meme is not only like a picture with words on it. People can be memes. Songs can be memes. Like, you know, like, I know it's a dead meme by now, but Gangnam Style, it was a meme technically. So based on that definition, you understand the broad aspect of what makes a meme. And if we're gonna talk more specific about a meme or what makes a meme is more like an internet reference. That's the best way to describe it. And sometimes it's a reference for the sake of being a reference, because you see, when you have an inside joke with your friends, there is an event that happened that made the joke. But in the case of memes, they reach the level where they're just inside jokes for nothing. There was no reference, just they're famous for being famous.
Now, here's my question. That's something that has confused me about memes my entire life, which is I show up to a group of memesters, right? And I throw a meme I think is funny. Yeah, of course. There's a name for everything.
Oh, I know, but they're the new reactors or the reactionists. Remember that? We're reactionists.
Yeah, that was a bad period in YouTube. Is it still around, actually?
Maybe.
Reaction channels?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they're a meme.
They're a meme.
That's besides the point.
At least they're useful.
I show up. Dude, I show up to a couple of members, all right, and I say a meme I think is funny, but you see, my meme education stopped at 10, like when I closed like iFunny and 9gag, all these things, because they took too much of my time and social interaction. I closed all of them, so I still say something like, I don't know, me gusta or something. And people look at me like I just created blasphemy. Like,
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I'm the pagan talking to the Christians, you know, like the looks of disgust. And I'm like, why? What kills a meme? What makes a meme dead? And why is a meme dying a good thing?
Well, my theory is time, but I'll leave
Well,
this to the
yes.
professionals.
Yes, time is a huge factor that kills a meme, and it is time ultimately. But the way to understand it is like, imagine if you just make a very old reference in 2018, like, you know, like Shazam or something like that. I don't know what references are in the US, but you get the idea. Like, imagine a very old reference for something that used to be good, but now is obsolete. It sounds weird, you know, like it sounds awkward. It's like Hillary Clinton's campaign, you know, like Pokemon go to the polls, you know. It will
Isn't it
sound
weird?
like,
Hold on. Isn't it funny how we had a little bit of memeception there? It was like she used the meme and she used the meme. Wait, yeah, she promoted a meme, and as a result, it ended up promoting itself as a meme because that whole event in itself is a meme now.
well, yes, that is true because um, memes like memes target the most horrible things. So sometimes someone can attempt to make a meme, but they fail, but their attempt was so horrible that the attempt itself becomes a meme. That does happen.
Is there a term for that, or is that just failure?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Is
That's
there
just failure.
Is there a course in Kuwait by chance in any of the universities where they study memes? Because that is there's an American college that has a course in memes.
Oh God. Well, funny enough, you mentioned that. We don't, but I remember for like global culture class that we took, we had to make a presentation, and I made my presentation on how Trump won, and he won because of meme culture. And my professor is like a very benign SJW. She's not like she's not okay. This is
She's a
distracting.
filthy feminist. Continue.
That's the word. Yeah. So basically, I talked about Pepe and what Hillary did to Pepe. So yeah, there are no courses, but people are talking about it.
But that's why you want to do your like PhD research on meme cultures, and it to give all these terms names and to give them definitions and to study it and understand how it happened and how it will and predict rather how the trend goes. Isn't that so?
Fuck did you just say? PhD in memes?
Why not?
I mean, that is very possible. The anthropology of meme culture. That can actually happen. I'm thinking about it.
So yeah, as you can see, we have a lot of professors, as I said, coming from my side of the world. I know the Arabs aren't known for being the most educated, but we are very educated on all the topics that don't matter. So, so hentai from the 90s, memes. I'm sorry, 80s. I'm sorry, Professor Khalid, do not kill me. Like all the things that don't matter, we are amazing at it. So yeah, like we'll definitely do. He'll definitely get a PhD here. Funny enough, he studies at a filthy American college.
Yep.
He studies at the American University of Kuwait, where they have Christmas breaks. The fuckers.
Ah. I sense some salt in the air.
How? No. I like you don't give them a break. And we attend like marching, death, you know, like we're marching to our death, and these guys are sleeping at home because it's Christmas. There isn't even snow here. How do you know that it's Christmas, dude? The reindeers can't reach here.
I mean, in all fairness,
hot?
the reason we get a Christmas break is because like 99% of the faculty are American. So they want that break maybe to go back to their families or something. Which still sounds dumb, honestly. It almost sounds like pandering. Not pandering to the people, but like, you know, trying to be like a fancy university. So they follow the American schedule, even though it doesn't make sense here. It looks like pandering, but that move in particular actually makes sense because the faculty.
Let's go back to the feminists, though, okay? Because it's fun and easy to make fun of feminists.
All right, sure. So here's the thing. I'll set it up, and you can continue, Abby. Professor Abby, excuse me. Basically, in the American University of Kuwait, there are two American universities, and the American University of the Middle East, which sucks, let's put it on the side, and the American University of Kuwait. Like, if there is like a center of feminism and SJW culture that needs to be nuked in Kuwait, it's the American University of Kuwait. It has its positives, I'll give you that, but that's where the center is, and that's where they like integrate and play with themselves. And one of the things I love doing is I use that guy to enter the college, and then I just trash them. And yeah, but the only person I want to get into, but haven't had the opportunity yet, is Mr. Professor Indian feminist who yells at every sentence.
Oh, please.
Yeah, so please talk about Professor Sharma, please.
Oh, we're name dropping.
Yes, of course. Who cares?
Maybe he does.
My future cares. Well, in either case, I don't think she'll watch this, but honestly, like I only had one incident with, like a lot of people say that she's like a hardcore feminist, but I only had one incident with her. When we were talking about like women and all of that. And then like I said something, I don't remember, it was like 2 years ago. It was supporting her point. She was like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean?" And I'm like, "No, I support your point." A lot of people say that she's like hardcore feminist, like she would, I don't know if I can say more honestly, but honestly, the whole university, not only her. Like I remember, like I had an audition last Thursday for some musical theater, and we were sitting there, and then like the professor was like, someone was talking to her. She had a milkshake, and she's like, "Oh, it's a vegan milkshake." And then a girl was like, "Woo!" And I swear to God, when I heard that "woo," like brain cells died. I'm like, please. The whole place, I swear to God, the whole place.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because there's the similar culture is happening here where schools are becoming overrun and as a result indoctrinated by, I don't want to call it the feminist propaganda. I don't even really want to call it the SJW propaganda, but it certainly leans in that direction. The more sensitive, safe spacey type of.
It's called the leftist agenda.
The far leftist.
Yes, the far left, technically, yeah.
But also, I wanted to bring up, because there's a college here in the States. It's called Evergreen College. I know some people in the comments section are probably familiar with it. It was a school that was in the news a lot because they had a day. They devoted a day where everyone that was white on campus had to leave in respect for the minority groups. They were forced to leave. And most people did it, but one of the professors did not. He decided to still teach his class as normally instructed, and he got berated for it and eventually left the school. Indirectly was forced to resign. And as a result, their enrollment went down the shitter. But that's a talking point now. The fact that certain groups of people should have to leave in respect for others.
What the fuck are you guys on?
I don't know, but it's scaring me.
Okay.
I want answers, and I probably shouldn't come to the internet for them. But here I am.
No, that's a good segue because I want to ask this, which is, I don't want to ask the question, how much did memes contribute to the growth of SJW culture? Because the memes they use are so dumb and stupid and spread around like mostly Facebook and Instagram and shouldn't even qualify as something that can reach the point of a meme, because in the end the meme makes you laugh and that doesn't. But
Dude, SJW
say,
memes, yeah.
like the question is, how much did the Reddit Tumblr community and their memes affect the spread of SJW culture?
Well, before we begin, we need to clarify one thing. SJW memes to actual memes is like female stand-up comedians to actual stand-up comedians. So you can't really compare the two. We're talking BuzzFeed versus 4chan, you know, like we're talking about man spreading versus pictures of dead babies. Like there is no comparison. That's technically 8chan, but still, like there is no comparison here. But back to your question, which is how did the Reddit Tumblr community contribute to SJWs? First of all, you need to make a distinction between Reddit and Tumblr, because both sides hate each other. Both communities hate each other. Actually, Reddit is anti-SJW most of the time, although there are some SJWs. But Tumblr is what you should be looking at, because if you really trace the history down, this whole million genders actually started in Tumblr.
Unfortunately, I would like to lead a crusade I'm all for free speech, but Tumblr has somehow managed to abuse that privilege. I believe there needs to be Trillian was talking about a crusade last time. There needs to be a crusade to destroy Tumblr. They're too far gone.
Well, funny thing about Tumblr is that not everybody there is an SJW. Like some of them actually hate SJWs. But
they have nowhere else to post their poetry. So that's why we're there.
Yes. But yeah, like SJWs, like if anything, like I would say the current wave of memes, which are called like dank memes, actually started in reaction to a lot of the things that SJWs do. This is why current memes are not very kid-friendly, unless your kid is edgy, but still.
Okay, so from what I hear, so if Reddit does not support the SJWs, what does it support? Because it's still stupid. So, like, what's stupid there? I guess everybody has their own brand of stupid. I want to understand.
Reddit supports shit posting, though.
That's fine. Shit posting's fine. No, I want. Is it atheism? Is that what's hot in Reddit these days?
It's very hard, especially for Reddit. Reddit is probably the only site that's very difficult to put it in a box, because like you have places in Reddit, like I said, where they post dead babies, and you have places in Reddit where there's SJWs and please use my politically correct name. Like everybody's on Reddit. That's the problem. I guess the only thing that all of Reddit has in common is virginity. There's no other way to put it. That is the only thing they have in common.
Okay, I can't disagree. Like,
you know what
my
favorite. You know what the funniest part about that comment is so there's been a recent influx in these, not necessarily mass shootings, but these mass terroristic events that were committed by white males who classified themselves as incels, right? And then the incels started gaining traction.
The incels.
Like, this is a community, they exist, and the mainstream media acknowledge them. And around the same time, there was a documentary that came out called Shy Guys. And I watched this in one of my classes. And every single person on that documentary is exactly how I imagine an internet troll / Reddit user to look like. And in the documentary, they're always on Reddit. It's their safe space.
Well, we all heard about r/incel.
Actually, I haven't. Can I be educated?
Basically, first of all, do you know what an incel is?
Nope.
And incel,
are you in for a treat?
yes. Incel is short for involuntary celibate, which are people who never had sex and know
Stop
that they
right
will
there.
never. Yes.
Stop right there.
I think you broke him. And you know, that's about the same reaction that everyone has at first.
About that, yeah.
Aren't you special? Hey, don't do that. You're gonna crack your little egghead.
Yes, continue, please.
Yes, now that we've made it past round 1, prepare yourself, Trillian. There's more to this.
Okay. Incels pride themselves for their intellectual ability, such as engineering.
Oh.
Okay,
So-
you stop right there. Engineering get plenty of pussy, all right? All right?
I mean, no. We don't have time for pussy.
Dude, all that comes to my mind is that video where Elon Musk takes the weed joint and is like, "Is that a joint?"
And his
Is that a
yeah,
joint?
and for a second
Right?
he actually looks human, right? Like I must interact.
Yeah,
It's worse
like,
than Zuckerberg.
dude, you see him lighting up, like seeing something like a toy for the first time, and then he takes the weed, like the smoke. He doesn't even inhale it, right? And like he enters a robot seizure. Oh, I did something fun. Oh no, right? And he just brings it back, right? And like, yeah, that's an engineer, right? That's how an engineer archetype should look like.
Yeah, we're talking about deaths today. Rip Tesla's entire company too. They lost 9% of their stock because he did that overnight. They're not going to be opening in China no more.
Dude, you gotta love the balls on that guy, all right? But besides that, let's continue the topic. Like
Dude, for a guy who sells flamethrowers like they're toys, he can do anything.
Including
I
not
never
shower
liked
for
it.
days.
Yep.
Well, yeah, of course. But yeah, that's besides the point.
Like you're actually surprised this is actually his first time taking weed.
No, he
Yeah,
looks just
actually.
like everyone when they smoke weed for the first time.
Yep.
Like, where's the effect, you know?
And then Rogan's there, like you have to, you have
To
to.
inhale. Is that legal? Yeah, totally legal. I love that statement. Like,
Yeah,
is that
like you only
legal?
came out to California, the one place where everything is legal.
No, it was brilliant. And I know comment section, the book did nothing wrong. No, it did. It's dynamics and it needs to be purged from reality. But besides that, please continue. Continue on like celibate stupidity?
Yeah,
I'm prepared. The
incels.
books are prepared. Yes. Please.
Incels are basically people who never had sex and know it for a fact, at least to themselves, that they will never ever have sex.
Stop right there.
Yep.
Never mind. I thought Trillian was going to hit himself again.
No, okay. I got that point. I received it through the hit. So let's continue.
So basically, there's a lot of overlap between incels and nice guys, and you already know nice guys.
Oh yeah, of course.
Nice guys. Like there's a lot of overlap. There's only one difference between incels and nice guys now. Nice guys actually attempt to get a girl. And once they fail, you know what happens. But incels don't even attempt. So if you actually go to r/incel, they say like, we should put women in cages and the government should appoint a girl for every guy by law.
So Jackson.
Dude, if you want to be sad, if you want to see
Save me.
humanity at its worst, if you want to see it, Just go to r/incel. But in all fairness, they actually deleted, like Reddit just banned this subreddit because it started to get a little too threatening, like kill all women and
No,
Chads and Stacy's.
come on, some people have to have some good ideas. Somewhere
Well,
on there, come on.
Well, here's the deal. Because to understand the concept of incel, you need to understand the concept of the black pill. You know, the whole matrix, red pill, blue pill. They say that if you're going to be an incel, you have to swallow the black pill, which is realizing that this society is basically against you. And just because you don't have certain traits, there is no way that you're going to have sex. So being an incel means that you admit that you will never, ever have sex, which means that you, quote unquote, swallowed the black pill. And once you do that, shit goes south real fast.
But the thing is, I had somebody tell me, because I sometimes describe myself as a reasonably cynical person. And somebody says, you cannot be middle of the road being cynical. And I asked them why. And they said, well, because a true cynic, that's a thing apparently, a true cynic takes the black pill. I never walked away faster from a conversation in my life. You know, I can take the red and blue pill. Black pill just sounds edgy, doesn't it?
It is edgy. It is edgy.
Dude, it's just like, whenever I hear this, it's like, you know, when somebody admits defeat so quickly and so totally, and like why? Like, okay, you're 20 years old, you got like, what, like, you got rejected thrice, right? And now you're celibate, and that's your reason for living, right? Since I can't win the game, I won't even play it. I'm against life, right? Girls should be putting cages.
That's the gist of it, because they don't know how many times they'll be rejected in the future. So they're like, we know the trick of society, and we shall not contribute to it. You see, people like this is how Japan has its economy. Like, you know, like every single item they do, like that robot that feeds you and all of that, they're making gold off of these people. Gold.
If I may interject here, I must show the viewers and Trillian, because he's clearly, we have some experience with this, but Trillian does not. I must show everyone here the saddest man on earth.
Okay,
I know Leafy
help me.
Used to make a lot of clickbait titles like this, but I must show you one of these just so you get an understanding. I must. Oh, hold on. I'm finding it. Okay. I'm going to screen share here.
So I need to speak very much so the link gets hidden from the scum that tries to keep invading our streams. Is that it? Yeah? La 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 la.
All right, here we are. Here we are. So I am going, just the look. I'm going to put this on my speakers.
Why do I know this guy?
He looks like you. That's one.
No.
Dude, it screams edge. Look at it.
Oh.
All right, just can you pray? Like, let me click. Okay, okay, never mind. He does not look like you. Look at it. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Oh, oh no. Oh, oh no. I'm not even hearing anything.
Yep.
And it's just, oh. Ugh. Oh no, a flip phone? Oh no. Oh no, he did the flip phone. Guys, you're gonna kill me. Stop this, please. Oh God. What?
I'm so exposed to this, it doesn't even affect me at this point.
Yeah, Louis, we can't hear anything. That's right. We can't hear shit. Maybe he can't hear us back. There you go.
Oh, wow, the mic was muted.
Yes. For some reason, I don't know. But I don't need to hear him.
Yeah,
His
you
face...
really want to go through that again?
No, please, no. Dude, he pulled out the flip phone so proudly. Did you see that? Like, let me pull out my flip phone. No, that's done. Dude,
Actually, like if like I didn't hear anything, but I assume that's a nice guy. Like that wasn't an insult, right?
No, that is an incel. He describes himself in the documentary as such.
Oh, well, if you want to see the edgy side of incels, I don't know if this actually, like, even if you play it here, it might actually get this stream flagged. But at any point, just look up Elliot Rodger's Day of Retribution.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
Elliot, yep, that is edge. That is incels when the edgiest.
Wait, is that the thing you showed me, Louis?
What? I've shown you a lot of things.
Is it the poet guy?
No. Elliot Rodger. Okay. He doesn't know who Elliot Rodger is.
Yes, he doesn't know who Elliot Rodger is.
No, I know who Elliot Rodger is. Very sad person. Like the shame. Like it's sad how humanity entered this phase. We don't need to view it.
You don't know him.
You don't know him, and that's fine. That's fine.
Please,
I assume that most people would want to keep it that way.
Yeah, I want to keep it that way.
But I'll give you the gist of the video, okay?
Okay.
Basically,
fine.
Elliot Rodgers basically shot a college, and after he shot it, he killed himself. He became famous for a while. He got his 15 minutes of fame, finally. But he had a YouTube channel, and before he did the shooting, he actually filmed like his manifesto before the shooting, and it's the edgiest thing ever. Like, I want to feel bad because he shot people, but honestly, I just cringed. I couldn't feel anything but cringe.
You know, I miss the time where shooting somebody started a world war. Now it's just...
Now everyone's doing it.
Yeah, like everybody's like, oh, maybe we'll start the next war if I shoot the school or something. Like, I don't get it. Like back in the day, if you shoot somebody, you shoot a president. You know, what happened to that? Like, what? Like Donald Trump is walking around? No. Let's shoot the school. Like, what's wrong with you? Shoot the president.
And then try to disguise it as some social statement. I was bullied, so they must pay. No, I'm pretty sure it's called high school.
Dude,
you need to grow up here and get over it. Like everyone else.
Dude, one of my favorite memes in existence is like there's like two kids are dancing, one male and one female, and then the male like proceeds to kiss the female, and then the female runs away in disgust, right? And then they zoom into the look of the disappointed kid, like this, and it keeps zooming out, and then the kid, they show like an identically, like a photo of an identical guy, but older, with a hat, like with the hat backflip, with a gun in a school, as in this is what creates school shooters.
That was the most elaborate description of a meme I've ever heard.
Wait, that's a meme?
Yes.
It's like the first panel has this, and then the second panel.
Dude, I've written comics before, right? I've written them and I've given them to artists as commissions, and that's literally how I talk, like how I write it down. Panel 1, panel 2, either that or I give them a full description of how I imagine it would look like, and then they do it themselves and we fix it. So I'm not the best person to describe a meme, if that was clear, because I'm too elaborate.
Memes are too complex to describe. You just must show them.
Yeah, they're way more funny if you just show the thing. I agree with that. I can't find it, nor will I waste the time attempting it. But,
I will say this though, because as I was showing that clip, somebody in the comment section commented code provider as an incel, which okay, sounds about.
Like, dude, describe code provider to Abby just so he knows the context of this.
It's kind of like a meme. I would like to show him, but I'll save him the trouble. Have you ever thought of moving to Japan? No, that's not. I shouldn't. This is a man who worshipped Japanese culture so much. His room is full of anime and manga, like stickers and pictures and posters and stuff. And he decided to move to Japan to pursue a dream of loneliness, it seems. And now he makes live streams every day where he documents his loneliness for everyone to see. And it's always just him with a poorly angled close-up, him picking his nose with his shirt off for some reason. And he claimed to have a girlfriend, but the girlfriend left him. That's why he went to Japan in the first place. So he's just lost there now. No money. He's in Japan doing God knows what. He makes a lot. He goes to the beach a lot and just records. And it's so sad, but from a distance. You don't feel it initially. But you turn off, like you watch it for a minute, you're like, this isn't for me. And then you click off, and as you're walking away to go take a shit or whatever, you just think, wow, I've lost a part of myself. My heart aches, and I don't know why.
At least he lived his dream. He's in an anime now.
Yes, he's in a slice of life anime where there's a vagabond in Japan.
So he's basically living the part where they like do the time skip.
Except he's not getting better or stronger. You know how that happens in those shows?
Yeah, he's stuck in the filler arc.
Yeah, just
whatever.
You know that 10 minutes where he walks in the beach, he's stuck for that for 3 years.
Yeah, he's stuck in the beach episode.
Yes,
I know a few anime like that. I know a few anime like that. One Piece, anyone?
Dude, don't even mention this filth in this live stream. This is a respectable live stream.
Well, I'm mentioning it because it's filth.
Now I feel ashamed for
wearing. And yes, the comment
even
section will shred me to pieces, but.
No, we filtered those out a long time ago. Most of the comment section that stayed agree, unless it's called Danny, right?
Or the intellectually destroyer.
Yeah, like
the intellectual destroyer.
Next thing they'll do is show up. Like, dude, did you see his comment on? I don't know which episode.
Right, who? Danny or?
Yeah, when he made like a long, elaborate comment that he couldn't say in stream for some reason. He waited
about how he beat you.
Yeah, something like that. Like, and like I remember like reading this and I'm like, okay, what do you want? You know. This is like I don't know what to do. Like, okay, what do you want? Like, Trillion versus the truth. Are you the truth? Is that what you're saying? Because if you're truth, like, yeah.
Actually, about that. Speaking of incels,
what? Okay,
that is one thing about incels and nice guys. I'm not saying that Danny's an incel or a nice guy, but the pattern is there, or at least that element, which is. What they can't, like, you know, this whole IQ, I have higher IQ than you, I'm intellectually superior than you. It's essentially the only thing that incels can count on. So, it's like I said, like, it's almost smart is the new buff, you know, like, they try to assert their masculinity somehow by being smart. And most of the time it looks cringy, honestly.
Well, because there needs to be something with the intellectuality. And that's where I think Elon Musk is a perfect example because he's intellectual, but he's also awkward, but in that meme type of way, not the cringy type of way.
The thing missing is honestly character because they just look at a persona, you know, that Sherlock, Doctor House type of persona, and they try to adopt it, and it looks bad because it's not natural to them. It doesn't come natural. But the missing character, that's honestly it.
Dude, I have the perfect YouTube comment to describe what both of you just said. I remember looking up a video. I don't remember what it was. It was some atheist debate, whatever, right? Just some stupid shit on YouTube that I look up from time to time to eat lunch to. And I always scroll to the comment section to see whether the video is worth it before I click play. Because if I see people like talking shit in the comments, I just leave. Like, this is a pointless video, right? And then I see this gold gem of a comment, and he goes, "Hi there, I'm a Redditor with 146 IQ here," and then he proceeds to tell his argument. Like, by the way, guys, I'm smart. You know, in a like somebody goes up on stage and then announces that he's a comedian. But guys, I'm a comedian, by the way, just so you know. Now you can laugh at my jokes, right?
It's like, hey, I'm supposed to be funny. Just remember that as I'm just telling you what is supposed to be funny.
Now that the coast is clear, it doesn't matter what I say after. Like, we've established what we are first.
We've established you can laugh, or that I can get away with saying stupid things or fucked up things that aren't really funny. You know those comedians that just insult people, but there's no punchline to it? It's just the insult, and they're not really funny.
What's up with these SJWs? Am I right? And they just look around and nobody laughs.
It's like you haven't made the joke yet.
Yes, dude. I don't know if you watched that. Oh yeah, continue.
Yeah, like I actually watched the video like about 2 weeks ago. Basically, a female stand-up comedian. She's like, nobody laughs at my jokes because I'm a woman. So she actually makes a mini documentary where she dresses up as a guy and tells her joke to like make a statement that when people see that she's a guy, they will actually laugh. And nobody laughed. And afterwards, she walked away crying. And like her boyfriend was just calming her down. You are funny. You are funny. She's like, maybe I shouldn't be a comedian.
Yes.
But you're funny to me, honey. Here, you want to go home? I'll cook you some pasta.
I think that he said that. I think he said that. He said, you're funny to me. And I'm not sure about the pasta, but yeah.
Yeah, like, here's the thing.
It's like, I like you as a woman. Please, be yourself.
Well, also, have you noticed that a lot of, because we've seen a rise in female comedians not necessarily being funny or gaining popularity per se, but in a way gaining popularity because they're unfunny and because there's a movement to try to force them to be funny. And that's why they show up on like Vice News and a bunch of these outlets now where it's like, are female comedians funny? And I'm just sitting there like, this is a commentary piece? Who the fuck has why is there, where are the sources? Like, why is there a story about, there are people dying on the other side of the world from starvation. You're talking about female comedians, and they discuss this. This is an issue now, right? It's like, why aren't people laughing at comedians' jokes, which in 2018 should be a pretty standard answer. You're not funny. But because it's a movement now, we have to pay attention to it. And it's, I don't know what they're looking for. Like, are they looking for the sympathy laughs? Because that doesn't mean anything. That's not going to build you a career.
Actually, like speaking about women sucking at comedy, I gave that a thought, and honestly, it does relate kind of to meme culture. You see, when you look at memes, you have two types of memes. You have the cynical memes, and which they call dank memes. Shit posting is counted as that. And you have the wholesome memes, like wholesome comedy. That's where you get like the Facebook minion memes. And if you really look at the way females do comedy, they actually like how do I say it? Like, they do wholesome comedy. It's not very cynical. Comedy is good when it's cynical. Oh hey babushka.
No, I was just reading. I was just reading the comment section.
Someone is angry. Holy shit.
Hello,
Oh, what's happening in the comments?
Babushka.
Did
Good
you
morning, everyone.
receive the link?
Yeah, I sent him the link. Babushka just woke up. Good morning, Babushka. How are you? How was your
Good
sleep?
morning. It was shit. Dude, I slept in the last hour.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. I actually woke myself up because like 2 hours in advance and just chucked coffee so I don't miss it. Maybe you should do the same in the future.
Yeah.
But in any case, what were we talking about before
Yeah,
Babushka invaded our stream?
about comedy. Like comedy thrives when it's cynical. You know, laughing at tragedy. It has an element of cynicism to it, and from what I've seen, the vast majority of female comedians, if not all, don't really tap into that cynicism. Like, it's not like it wouldn't be that funny because unless you're making fun of something horrible, of course creatively, but still, wholesome comedy doesn't cut it, honestly.
Didn't Trillian make a whole video about this?
Yes, I made an entire video on my channel analyzing why female comedians aren't funny. I did that, but here's the thing, and to me, it all gets summarized in one video that Bill Burr made. It's an interview, and some bitch came up to him and gave him like in the middle of the interview, she asked him, "Can women be funny?" And gave him the mic, and he was like, "Of course." And then he just looked at her with a weird pause, and then she took the mic back, and then she started ranting like, "Yeah, people think that females can be funny, blah blah blah, blah blah blah," because she thought maybe Bill Burr was saying no, and then he just grabbed the mic and he's like, "Can you guys just fucking grow up and stop making your own shit and actually go to places and not expect people to laugh because of your gender? You know, can you just like make your own thing and be your own selves and try to get better like everybody else?" And not expect anything to come out of you, just like a full rant throwing at her, grow the fuck up. And I think that's the problem with comedians. They don't grow up. They just expect people to laugh because they're women.
There is a negative stigma, though, I think, somewhat leaning for female comedians. And it's all Amy Schumer's fault. Because every female comedian thinks they have to act like her. And she is the prime example of what not to do if you're a comedian, but more so if you're a female comedian.
Dude, Amy Schumer is the Justin Trudeau of comedy. All right. Okay. Nobody
couldn't have
likes
said
her.
It better.
Nobody laughs. Nobody anything. She's just there, and people have to tolerate it for some reason.
Well, even women that go to watch her. I had a friend that went and watched her. She came back and she's like, I never felt so awkward and so much self-loathing in my life. Why? Because everything is about how a guy is supposed to be banging her and that you have to feel like a guy is constantly penetrating you in order for the joke to be funny.
Like,
actually, like speaking about the stigma against female comedians, I'm not really an expert. Like, I didn't watch like a lot of comedians. Like, I bet Trillian watched way more than me. But from what I saw, there's nothing easier or there's nothing quicker than a comedian proving himself. Like, if a comedian shows up on stage and the jokes are funny, like, people won't have time to have stigma. They will just be laughing because the material is good. And actually, like, the best example I have, like, of a female comedian is actually on YouTube. Anybody heard of Shoe on Head?
Oh, I love her.
Dude, to me, she's the best example of like a female comedy person who's just about comedy. It's not like about, oh, I'm female, my vagina, you know, like just pure comedy. She's actually funny. There is a hint of cynicism there. She didn't really compromise her femininity. Like women can be whatever they want, of course, but she's still somehow feminine and her comedy is still cynical. Like, it's a good mix. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, it's a very good mix of character and comedy.
Shoe on Head was my YouTube crush like 2 years ago.
I'm not familiar, but you guys can send me links after. I can watch some of her stuff.
I showed
because
you her for like 5 seconds, I think.
Yeah, send me more. Let me look this up. But about like a comedian establishing himself quickly, I've learned this from my friend Aziz. My friend Aziz, who's been on the stream, he used to be a magician. He did magic, like play with a deck of cards, do a sleight of hand, and just blow your mind. And he used to be very good until he quit, or he stopped doing it as a profession and more of like some side thing he does randomly in like gatherings and shit.
Yeah, don't say quit. That's discouraging. Never give up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, never give up. But regardless, like, what happened was he told me that what you need to do is start with a trick that blows somebody's mind, and what you do is you take a simple math trick after, like no skill trick, and you just do it. And because you've established yourself as a very skillful person who will trick them, this small trick, regardless of how simple it is, will blow their minds because they can't understand how it happened, even though it's a simple math trick. But because the illusion that he will trick them is there, he already has them, and they're under his spell, whatever it is, right? Because in the end, that's what you need. And I think every time I see a comedian open with a powerful joke, if that joke kills, it doesn't matter what they say next. They got the audience.
And anything you do.
Yeah, right.
And anything you do, you need to start. I believe in starting strong and ending strong. You put your two best pieces of material of anything at the beginning and at the end, because you want the strong first impression, and then you want to leave the lasting impression. But it's the middle is supposed to keep them satisfied. You still want it to be as good as possible, but people try to pace themselves, and it doesn't always work because they try to sprinkle out the good material in the middle, and they try to separate the really good parts all throughout the entire special, instead of just having a home run at the beginning, a home run at the end, and then having decent material in the middle. That's all you really need to pass in many cases. But that's why you see a lot of artists fall out too, right? Like at the start of their career, they're very good, and then they stay hot for a while, but then they start to decline because what they're giving their fans is not satisfying them anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I view it as well. Is that, like, actually, this is one topic I'd like to bring, and it's not really like, it's a transition more than anything, which is, and you guys can all answer this in your own time. I've asked you all about this, and we've talked about this for a long time, but how come artists are so shit these days? And I'm not talking like, oh, there aren't good works out there. There are some good works everywhere, but like, if you walk up and there's somebody who's coming up as an artist, right? I'm an artist, or I'm a comedian, or I'm a writer, or I'm a comedian, or a songwriter, whatever it is, and you see their work and it's so shit, and they don't take criticism, and they think they're good, and the people around them think they are good, and this is a plague that has been spreading throughout the entire world, and I don't know what to do to deal with it. Besides, like, bullets, like, I don't know what to do. So can you guys help me out here? Everybody, do your input, please.
In short, I'll go first. Mine's short. It's
Kamikaze on writers.
Okay.
What?
No. My point is a paraphrase of that. It's that they're worshipped, and they see other artists get worshipped, and they feel like they're deserving of that. You have Twitter to thank for that. Everything on there is usually about like artists and what this person did and what this one did, and they feel like they need to be at that caliber.
You know, I love how porn artists, like hentai artists, surpassed regular artists in quality years ago, and nobody's talking about it.
Like, talking about DeviantArt?
No, not DeviantArt.
This is an embarrassment. This is an embarrassment to all modern artists that the people who draw literal porn, surpass them in quality, and yet nobody's talking about it. Everybody's.
Well, I think both me and Khalid would agree that this is a success, not a failure.
No. Here's the thing: a failure on the others, not on the like the porn artists. That's fine. You do you. But like, what about the rest of y'all? Do you know what you can do if you just had that level of skill? Where is that skill?
It's because
What?
they're so full of
You have
shit
to be-
now. You said it yourself. They're like the poets, right? Have you seen modern artists where they just like take a paintbrush and they just like draw a line on a canvas and then they try to sell it for $3,000, and then they try to sell it as some bullshit excuse like, oh, the line represents my blood, my heart falling apart. It's like it took you 10 minutes at most to get all the materials, set it up, go out and buy new paint.
This is ink. This is a sheet of paper. All right.
Oh, you're about to make history right now.
Yes, let's make history. All right. Let me just pour a little bit on the paper. There we go. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gently slide it right next to the microphone. As I am doing my vibration, we'll give it the artwork. All right.
This is strangely arousing.
There you go. The shape of my forgotten heart bleeding into my soul.
It looks like you took the black.
For 20 million.
Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and all other social media related, please. At
Don't forget
11xpg.com. And
You forgot the Patreon.
oh yeah, also subscribe to donate to my Patreon. Only for $60 a month, you get one commission where I spit on the paper and give it to you.
You have to pay for the shipping though.
And the spit will be dry by the time you receive it.
And it's just an empty paper, but nobody will notice, right? And for only the lowly price of $200 a month, you get to have a private chat with me that I will continually postpone because I got creative work to do.
Actually, about artists and why they're shit right now. I guess my input on this would be that when you give people a platform where everybody can put something, the quality will decrease because everybody can put something. And when a lot of people put it, the standard will get lower. Same thing actually for Steam. That's why games and even indie games back in the day, they used to be good. Each one of them is carefully crafted. But with Steam, that anybody can make any shitty game and just post it there, and you have millions and millions of games. The standard got lower, the quality got lower. What's the term? The entrance standard, the entering standard got lower.
So would you say the quantity diluted the quality?
Exactly, yes. And not only the quantity, but the accessibility. Anybody can post anything, and the fact that there's a lot of quantity, both of them diluted the quality.
But that doesn't explain the praise that people give it, because if you have 200 burger joints because of accessibility, they're still shit burgers, so nobody will come eat. But for some reason, people go to these places to get the burgers. To continue the metaphor, how come?
Because you have to analyze the platform itself. You have a platform, but for anything YouTube for videos, or Steam for games, or DeviantArt for art. It's not only a platform; it's also social media. So people go there the same reason they go for Facebook, which is just boosting their ego. So now they can boost their ego instead of tweets. They can do it with art. And yeah. You basically made a social media community to post creative work. To me, it's good in some ways, but in many ways, it just lowers the standard. And there's nothing that pisses me off more than standards getting lower, honestly.
You have any input, Babushka? You've been quiet. So, oh, you're taking a hit. Okay, that's fine. Take your hit and give us input, please, as you wake up from the hit.
Dude, I'm already awake from the first hit. Yeah, I would say what's keeping artists down those days is their ego. They're trying to be artists. They're trying so hard to be artists. At the same time, they're coming up with very bad shit to benefit themselves and come up with anything with no meaning. You know, just like any singer, they start out fine, then they just you know, start to get bad. They start to make anything just to keep up. And what they're doing is they're just doing it for the money. This time they're just not putting enough effort into their art or their projects, which is you know, sometimes can be sad for some artists I like, but yeah, that's basically it.
And this thing, of course, is always confusing to me. And I don't know, maybe I'm just built that way or whatever. When I write work, like nobody knows, like at home or outside, besides my close friends, and sometimes I talk about it on stream as a mention or something, but nobody knows what I do, right? The things I do, I keep to myself and the people who are relevant to whatever I'm doing, always. And like whoever will help me improve or give me input. And I'm just like, there's always a perfectionist mentality in my head, which is the work has to be perfect before it gets out. Now, I assume this type of OCD is built in people's brains, right? But it isn't, and that confuses me. Like, why aren't people like worried that the creative work, which I really perceive to be like sort of my child, will go out into the world and get molested by all these critics? It needs to be perfect. It needs to be ready. But here are everybody just throwing their like vomit out there, their creative vomit out there, and expecting people like me, you know, to appreciate it for what it is, right? What I can't. I expect to be under fire, and therefore I'm under fire. I throw the fire as well.
Like, actually, if I'm gonna talk about that, like, we need to address like a bigger issue, which is basically the ego crisis happening. Everybody wants to be quote unquote unique. Everybody wants to be like having a persona, known for something. And of course, that's a topic on its own, basically how society is made and the individual is lost. But the idea is like about ego and artists putting their ego. Because you see, for you to be a decent artist, you need to make sure that the work is perfect. So you focus on the work. What you're producing is work. But for a lot of these people, they're only producing it to fortify like an identity. They want to create an identity. They're not creating work. When they make an artwork, they're not focusing on the artwork itself, but how much that artwork speaks for them being artists. They want to declare to the world that they're artists. This is their persona. This is their identity. So because of that, like you see a lot of people just posting vomit, not because the work, like not necessarily because they want the work to be good, but they want people to know them as artists. Just solidify and assert that identity.
Speaking of artists and that solidifying that identity, we have a commenter. You may know him. His name's Stoops. He apparently, yeah, he makes webcomics now, and he wants us to live react, all of us, to his first chapter of his webcomic.
Oh no! Can we not? Like, the Stoops is not known for his creative capabilities. The Stoops is known for like invading streams and just talking things that make no sense. Can we not break that image and make him creative? That like, no.
We're talking about artists. It's only appropriate. We don't have to do the whole chapter.
All right. I'll try not to cringe. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. Well, since he asked for input, fine. I guess, like, let's do it. Who cares?
Now, I would like to preface this by saying that we are going to be truthful. So...
Oh, we're not known. Yeah, we're not known for being light. Please ask Danny and friends what we do to filth around here.
All right, Trillion, talk. All right, here we are. All right, so this is it. He has a comic. It's called what a ugly font.
Yes, like this does not seem good. What's written even? Can somebody decipher this?
Idolator's Dream.
Yeah, it's in the link, I think, like in the tab name.
I thought it was a typo the first time, but anyway.
All right.
So that's the title / logo.
All right.
Text. Okay.
Okay.
And an ellipses, the 3 dots, or at the front of the head or the back.
What the hell is okay?
Oh,
Oh, this is the golden question right here.
What font is that? Dude, this is a meme. This is a meme, okay? This is a meme font. You don't use this for comics. I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to nitpick, but God, okay, continue.
Well, I guess we'll find out, right?
Okay.
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 Okay. Someone underneath the bed sheets.
With a broken water bottle and some donuts.
Oh, you gotta love the sound effects. Whoosh.
Ploop. It sounds like, dude, it sounds like a Russian trying to speak English.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that manga Happiness. Just the very eerie type of distorted artistic look to it. Oh, it's not an Apple computer, it's a Moon
Dude,
computer.
this looks like a very bad modern art piece that's pretending to be comics.
It's art, god damn it.
Shut up.
All right,
oh, he taped the webcam for the FBI and shit.
now he must be on the dark web.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, what kind of animal is that?
This one right here?
Like a kitten trying to be a rat and a cockroach at the same time.
An opossum.
The
wait,
pizza.
the
is
lion
good.
rats.
Dude, proportionally speaking, that rat with that pizza, like that rat is huge.
But
oh, that's a small pizza.
Maybe.
all right, so 6:30 rolls around.
Wiggle.
What is this? What is this? Oh, it's
What?
I see. It's like a lock to his door.
Oh, so it's a doorknob.
I guess, but where's the knob part? Is
No,
that
I
it?
think. No, what the fuck is going on?
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
This is what a seizure looks like if it was to be a manga.
Like, okay, like, okay. Can we scroll faster?
I want everyone to. Oh my god.
Okay, here's the deal. The face, dude, the face is spooky. The shoes just killed the immersion.
I also
Dude,
can't tell. Is this supposed to be reading from right to
period.
left?
What the fuck?
Is this like finding Bigfoot? Is that what it is?
Wait, it actually says spooky.
I know, that's what I said.
What the fuck is? Like, I'm so confused.
Okay, so this woman comes in.
Okay.
Is she this thing?
I think yes, but wake the fudge up, and fudge is with quotation marks. Why? Why do you put quotation marks?
Sunday. All right. So
Okay.
the evil being turns out to be this woman.
Okay.
The hand is decent. I at least know the shape.
What?
Okay. Whoa. Whoa. She's a big girl.
Oh, look at the ankles.
So
Whoa.
she's wearing it.
How many toes is that?
How much hair is that?
That's 10. He got the toes right. That's 10.
Those things don't look like they're 10. They look like they're more.
And then okay, so what I take from is it over? Well, there's a versus. There's gonna be a fight.
Okay, I honestly don't know what's going on anymore.
Okay, there's a mess. So he's paranoid and she's telling him not to worry anymore.
Is this like Space Brothers, the LSD edition or something?
Okay, this is the best panel right here. This is by far the best panel. I have to give props here.
Yes, but why is every panel a different art style?
Why is she saying the nigga higa catchphrase?
Oh my.
Is anyone else seeing this? This has to be a joke. This is such a meme.
I mean, you can make it just an HE and it will.
You know, this is dedication. He made a meme comic just so we could respond to it.
Okay, you do not twist the text, please. This is a headache.
Oh, this right here?
Yes.
Okay.
First day back to school, I guess.
How many pages is this?
We're almost to the end.
Yeah, thank you.
The toilet paper looks good too.
Really, you're gonna compliment toilet paper?
So does the hand. Yeah, the hands looks all right.
Dude, I draw toilet paper.
Dude, okay. Stay tuned. Is he thinking to stay tuned, or is that just the... Okay. Okay, everything zones out around Sunday. Don't you mean Sunday? Oh my God. How will a social reject like him handle the outside world? And who is this mysterious dream king? Keep following to find out.
Next time on Pokemon.
Okay, so Trillion talk.
Yeah,
And I'm
that
back.
Russian, please. Like, dude, see, this is why the Holocaust was a good thing. All right.
This comic deserves one echoey clap.
Dude,
That's the single echoey clap.
We fell for the trap. He got us to respond or to look at his comic. And I'm not even mad about it, you know? It is what it is.
dude, you put so much stupidity in me this stream, man. Like, why do you guys do this to me?
Because that's what it's all about here in the anime law.
Dude, I'm a functioning human being, okay? I barely got to this point, okay? And now you're, like, bringing me down again.
Is he a writer? Is he a writer, though, Trillion?
I mean, he did put text in there. I guess that's the anime community's definition of a writer. Like, is there text in it? Then he's a writer.
So you approve?
No. No. I approve of the toilet paper because I can use it to wipe that shit off my face. But otherwise, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, Stoops. You get an A. If I read that comic and you were in the lion pits in the gladiatorial combats, I would put a no.
So that's a no from Trillion. The rest of you?
You go
Okay.
first,
You can
Peterson.
go, Alison.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. About the comic.
oh,
Oh wow, really? About the comic?
Okay. I will give like a sort of
the comic.
like decent review, but like you don't give like that sort of cliffhanger, you know, like we know nothing, and not because like it's a cliffhanger, like it's the type of we know nothing that we don't want to know more, you know. There was no flow to the panels, honestly. Like I got a headache just watching that.
You're
Mainly because-
analyzing the paneling, really? You don't need to get that deep to give it a thumbs down.
Okay. Better luck next time. Please, please, for the love of God, fix your font. This is a meme font, okay? Look at me. Change that font, okay? That font is for memes, for shit posting, not for comments, okay? And for the love of God, don't make every panel a different art style. I know that sometimes you want to do like comedic faces, but the comedic faces are different art style. Like they break flow. They don't fit at all. And please don't use Hillary Clinton meme language, you know, like wake the fudge up with like quotation marks or like a million exclamation point like marks. Like honestly, because of the exclamation points, I would think this was written by a 13-year-old. Only for that. So
Stoops is like
make it a bit more professional. These details do matter. Believe me. Don't overlook them. Every little detail matters. Just perfect it.
all right. All that's left is you, Louis. What's your ranking?
I'm gonna take the constructive approach.
No, please don't torture me, Louis. Please.
You need to practice on a lot. But there is room for potential. I believe in you, Stoops. So the next time you come to me, which hopefully will not be next week, with more of this shite, but the next time you come to us with an art piece, I hope that you will have improved. That's all I gotta say. Good luck with whatever else. Good luck with your day job.
Ouch! Please.
For now.
Okay. Can we switch to a less depressing topic than what we just saw, please?
I didn't give a review.
Yeah, don't skip people, Trillion.
All right, Babushka.
Let me rumble. So, what the fuck is that Tumblr text? This is Tumblr kind of shit. Like, boy, on the texts. And the art style, it's not for me, if you like that. I absolutely hate manga, but that made me hate manga more. Again, boy. And the story, the topic, really? Do you have to be more edgy than that? The ultimate boy! Seriously.
I'll ask once more. Does anyone know what the first 17 pages of that was? What was supposed to happen?
I think it was first about finding Bigfoot, but then it switched into a woman because it's anime, like it has to. Like
Bigfoot.
See, I thought it was
about
about. I thought it was about a kid that was masturbating in the middle of the night, and then his MILF mother walks in and tells him it's time for school, and then that kid is the edgelord, and that's the story is going to be a slice of life about how this depressed youth goes through his daily life. I'm giving so many benefits of the doubt here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
Don't forget the Chupacabra looking at us right.
Yes. There are some ups, there are some downs. Mostly downs.
Yes, thank you.
But you can change that ratio, Stoops. I believe in you. Not much, but I believe.
Okay, if I'm gonna give any constructive criticism, even though mine was actually, but
Stop using meme fonts.
but yeah, stop using meme fonts. That's the most important. Look at me. That's the most important thing. Details. Just put more details. Don't half-ass the details. Tell more about the story. We know nothing. I still don't know why he looked at that site looking terrified. Like, what was on the site? These types of details, like, you're not giving a narration, a story. This is what happened. This guy's sitting. Like, there is no narration, honestly. So just focus on the details, the storytelling. Mangakas aren't writers, but they can learn something from writers.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Yep.
Well, okay. I want to move on to another topic.
And wait, hold on. Chapter 2 comes out this month. Just FYI.
Yeah. I'll tune in. Trust me. Yeah, I'll tune in.
Here's the deal. I can't, like, he's gonna release chapter 2 in 2 months, right? What we read wasn't chapter 1. That's not enough. That wouldn't count as chapter 1. That's like a demo, like a one-shot. I wouldn't call it chapter 1. That's like how many pages? Like 10, 12? That's not enough.
It was enough. That's what it was.
It was enough. Please, for the love of all things good, it was enough. Please. Let's switch to something else. Now we have two memesters. So
yes.
let's talk more about meme culture and meme whatever. Like you only defined the terms. You didn't run us through the history. So continue on. After you defined, like how did it come up? What happened? Go on.
It's very hard to say like the history of memes, but if you like give me a specific meme, or like I can tell you the trend of how it happened. But the only thing you want to know is that memes started as like this quirky way to like say relatable stuff, and then it turned into like absolute shit that you can't decipher. Like it used to be like, you know, confession bear, where you like confess something. Now the best meme out there right now is the letter E. The letter E is the meme.
Like that's something I don't understand. Why is that? Like, why do people laugh at that? What makes that funny? And you guys tried to explain it multiple times. I still don't get it. So please present it on stream. Like,
why do people find it funny? I honestly have no idea.
Wait, can I look up the meme? Because I don't. What is it called? The letter E?
Yeah,
that's it.
Just look at meme and then E. The original format has like Markiplier's face photoshopped to Farquaad, but
that's the funny thing about it.
Oh, I see. So it's like it's Markiplier, but he's like he's like on Jesus's face. Jesus died for our sins. That's the first one I got.
Actually, look up the last meme. The last meme is my favorite, actually, and it can tell you a lot about memes.
I'm leaving. Fuck Lost.
Lost is the best. Come on.
No?
I don't get it.
Do you see the comic? Do you see the comic?
I do.
The history of this meme is such. There's this comic artist who people used to love. I forgot his name. But then as time passed, his comic started getting shit until it reached the Lost meme. The Lost meme, or the comic, is called Lost. It's basically about a guy knowing that his wife got an abortion and like the baby, like basically a miscarriage actually. And people are like, this comic was so shit, you can actually just narrow it down to the lines. You see, do you see any pictures of lines in them?
No, I don't see the lines.
You should. It's like 4 panels, but lines in them instead of people.
Hold on. What would you like me to look up exactly? Just Lost meme?
Loss. Loss.
Oh, Loss. Well, still, I got
Yep.
the other one, but okay, I got so I got the first panel, but I didn't get the lines that were right next to it. But it looks like another 4 panels, but with lines.
Yeah, the lines is the meme. Basically, they tell you that the comic is so shit and so simplistic, you can just reduce it to these lines, and it can tell the exact same story and give the exact same feeling. So if you look at the lines, it gives the exact same story. So the lines became the meme. So if you actually scroll down, you'll see different formats, like people like use boxes and things like that. They actually write Lost meme poem. Just add poem to it.
See, I actually think it's kind of, it's not funny in my opinion, but it's insulting how somebody was able to simplify it so much, and they got away with it. That's beautiful.
Actually, let me read you the Lost poem. Lost meme poem. Basically, it became like, because of how versatile the meme is, it became like a challenge to basically hide the Lost meme in something. So like you get this poem, like with a background. It says, in spring, man built a pillar. In summer, another. Throughout autumn, they held. But in winter, one fell. And you read that poem, and then you realize that's actually the Lost meme.
Dude, if you read that poem, read the chat. I made the Lost meme in like 1 minute.
Yeah, I see it.
And actually, the best thing about Lost is that it's so versatile. Anytime you see a 4-panel comic, it became a meme to say, is this Lost? Because of that. Like, it's so versatile. That's why it's my favorite. But yes, I can understand how people wouldn't find it funny or wouldn't get how it came to be, how people make comedy out of it. But
so is this like Darude Sandstorm, like where if anybody asks for the song, somebody just writes Darude Sandstorm, and if you don't get it, you're just confused, and if you get it, you laugh because you know what it is.
Yep.
Or you're bored by that time because you've gotten Rick rolled so many times. People, it's like getting Rick rolled, but with the Darude Sandstorm, right?
Dude, those were the days where, you know, clickbaity title, you click it and you get Rick rolled, and at some point you just become numb to it. You don't laugh, you don't cry, you don't get angry. Just, oh, it's a Rick roll, and you just close it. Become numb.
But
no,
yeah,
like,
I mean, Shirley, what's your favorite kind of meme then? Because I showed everyone my favorite meme last time.
Dude, my favorite type of meme, like, I don't have an exact one, but I like the style, which is like they make a bunch of true statements and then they put something outrageous that either has a pun or is related somehow. So the first one that comes to my mind is they put a picture of like a female hand with nail polish, and they say removes polish from for whatever. Nobody cares, and then they put the picture of Hitler. Yeah, nail polish, right? And then they put the picture of Hitler. It's like removes polish, everybody loses their minds, and Polish and Polish have the same spelling. And yeah, and it's a play on words because not only is it Polish and Polish, it's because when a female does something, it's okay, but when a male does it, everybody loses their minds. But it's Hitler. And it's just like such a complicated yet simple meme to understand. That whenever they do that, to me, that's the best type of meme.
I like the DS Volt memes too. The Crusade memes.
We need the Crusade memes. Ooh, I love those. I love, like, there was one where like they added pedophilia to the LGBT whatever community, right? And then like a crusader looks left, looks right, and it's like time for a fucking crusade. I love that meme. I love that meme. Oh, dude, we have our own version here. You say something stupid like there are 28 genders, and then you put some mullah with a heavy beard and like an angry face, and he's like, I demand the implementation of Sharia, you know? Right, like we have our own versions of that here, right? I love these like whenever I can relate to it, it relates to some knowledge I already have, and I'm able to link it. I.e., if the meme makes sense. When memes don't make sense, and I'm looking at both of you here, Mr. Memesters, and you guys laugh, I find it confusing.
Not all of my memes don't make sense, at least.
Yeah, same here.
No, shut the fuck up. When they don't,
No.
You guys laugh for an hour, and I'm looking at me like I have the cancer, like you guys have the cancer.
But you really do have the cancer. Look at your head.
I got that, of course. Now with the head.
It's just,
Dude,
it's so
my hair is
majestic.
majestic. Look at it. It's majestic. Look at how good it flows. What's wrong with it?
Arson stole his hair, by the way.
We should turn Trillion's head into a meme.
Oh, please don't. My
John,
hair.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, fair enough. I guess the multitudes of hats are enough as proof that my head became a meme. Like,
Bubushka, what's your favorite type of meme?
Oh, my own memes.
What's my favorite? Me. That's my favorite.
No, I really like the Gopnik stereotype, Russian stereotype. They just get drunk, dance to hard bass, just eat sandwich kid, fucking squat everywhere. Just became a meme. It's the stereotype alone of them just having so much fun being silly and shit. It's just funny. They don't give a fuck.
well, I'll tell you one thing. I watched a Slavic meme compilation,
Mhm.
and I laughed way more than a regular meme compilation
Yeah.
because
That's
they
what I
just do stupid stuff that you can relate to. And that's one thing I'll give the Russians that the Americans don't have. Those guys know how to have fun. I assume from
Yeah.
all the potatoes and vodka. But the Americans, you guys have no chill.
It's because we're not allowed to have memes anymore. I mean, we're going after frog memes right now, right? Didn't we just stop
Dude.
Pepe?
Yeah, the EU banned memes now. Actually, it's
What the
passed.
fuck?
Like
Fuck.
they passed a law that basically removes parodies from like basically you can't do parodies because they're copyright, and that includes memes.
Wait, is that why Alex Jones got banned?
Alex Jones
He's
is
a
not
parody,
yeah.
right?
No,
No,
that's
but
not
he-
why he got banned, but he is a meme, so
Yeah, like did they ban Alex Jones because of this?
I don't think so.
it can't be
Actually,
the reason.
like Louis, you mentioned Pepe. Pepe is actually like I wanted someone to segue into Pepe because Pepe is like the most complex, at least when it comes to history of the memes, because if you want to see the origin of how Pepe happened, basically the way Pepe happened is very simple. Pepe, like it was part of a cartoon, you know, the feels bad man thing. But the way it happened is that in World of Warcraft, I'm not sure exactly how, but if you type LOL in that language or in that font, one or the other, it becomes kek. K-E-K. So kek became synonymous with LOL, and they use it more when they talk. So when you tell someone kek as an LOL. And then Pepe happened. Pepe was a meme. Pepe was about to die. Pepe was not like, it was a very popular meme, but it was a normal meme. But what happened is that actually people looked it up, and there's an Egyptian god named Kek who happens to be a frog. And people linked it to Pepe, and somehow Pepe became the god of memes and became the symbol of memes. And a lot of memes die, but Pepe basically stood like how many years now? Like Pepe is still a relevant meme. So that's the history of Pepe. You know, the whole Kekistani thing.
It's sad because I know. Well, it's funny actually more than anything else because the EU banned memes, but how did people respond? They sent them more memes.
Yes. Actually, some people said, let's make the EU flag a meme, so they have to ban their own flag.
Exactly. It's there's so many because nobody knows what memes, the power memes have yet.
Yeah.
It's just that Hillary Clinton convinced somehow they convinced people that memes are bad and that they helped her lose the election.
Dude, the EU, now that I look at it, really focus on the real issues. Banning memes, right? Like
The genders, feminism.
no,
Yeah.
not making Hungary the capital of culture because it's too white. Putting sanctions on Poland because they're not accepting immigrants in. They're doing the real thing. They're doing things for, like, they are logical, consistent, and in their nation's interest.
Dude, the EU
Clearly.
met up. Was it the EU? I think it was the EU or the UN that had a meeting with feminist gamers about the
fuck?
Gamergate situation and about equality in gaming. And that's all I got to say about that. The fact that they entertained that discussion to begin with.
No, Louis, that's what I'm talking about. Video games appeal to the male fantasy.
Oh, don't that is such a great meme. You cannot.
Yes.
That is an amazing
Dude.
meme.
You know what, Louis? I'm gonna send you this meme and you play it on stream. Okay? Like, it got sent to me by yours truly here, Mr. Professor Memester, and I've loved it
Which
ever
one?
since. You'll see. It's about this bitch, who says, "Oh, this is what I'm talking about." It appeals to the male fantasy crap.
If it's a compilation, I've seen every single one.
No, you haven't seen this one, and if you have, I sent it to you. Let me find it real quick. You can play it on stream, like share it on stream, but let me
I'll get
find
the
it.
speakers ready this time.
No, it's not a video; it's a picture, so it's fine. Let me. Where is it? God damn! Where is it? Show up. Why do I suck at this? Yeah, there we go. Here you go. I sent it. Just share it on the video so people know what I'm talking about.
It's a picture.
Yes, it's a picture. Just share it. Share it. And yes, gentlemen in the comment section, that's democracy for you. That's why democracy should be purged. That's why the US should fall. And that's why we should burn all the Japanese. That's the eventuality we have to reach. Okay, I've played enough Shogun 2 to know this. All the Japanese have to die. All right, democracy has to be dead. And we have to go back to feudalism. That's how it's supposed to be, people. That's how it's supposed to be.
And that is why North Korea will rise one day. So here we have the meme. If we zoom in here a little bit, we see this is why I hate video games. And I tend to read it in her bitchy voice.
Yes, of course.
This is why I hate video games. It like appeals to like the male fantasy, which we see here is you have a hard on for Poland, don't you?
That's why that bitch sent it to me, right? Poland.
You're welcome.
Dude, I sort of salivated when I saw the picture. but I didn't fully salivate because Australia wasn't taken over yet. And I'm like, take Australia.
but you know when something's when a meme is funny, but you don't laugh. You just kind of, it's funny, and you think it's funny, but you don't laugh. You just acknowledge the cleverness to it. That's how I feel about that one. It's funny.
Dude.
Actually, ironically speaking, some of the funniest memes out there, and I know all of you will butcher me, but the funniest memes out there are the Tumblr memes.
Yeah, probably because they're unself-aware that they're memes. And Tumblr itself is a meme.
Not memes about Tumblr, but memes generated by Tumblr.
No.
Yes.
Examples? I need sources.
All right, let me find something real quick.
No, here's dude, I have a love-hate relationship with memes generally. And the love part is because they're so entertaining. And the hate part is because all my memes are dead. Like, every time I want to bring up a meme into conversation, everybody looks at me like I'm uncultured. Like, do you blame me for being stuck in the 70s or something?
For example,
why is it yeah, see, I can't relate to that. It's too modern for me. I'm old school. I logged out of the internet.
Trillion, I'm going to send you the meme. You send it to Lloyd.
So this is what the anime law has come to.
Where is it?
That's in the live.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want it any other way.
Let's see. There we go. Download.
Malik Sanka, I know you're pushing for this MVC in the comment section, but you need
see
to
multi-peers
and let somebody else eat, man.
No, multi-peers took his MVC spot, and now he's chilling, just throwing 2 comments because he already got his MVC. Maybe we shouldn't have given it to him.
He's waiting. He's waiting for the finale, because in the finale is when all the best commenters.
No, he's been chilling. I noticed the pattern. He's been chilling, throwing 1 comment out there. When last stream, he was like spamming it, hoping to get MVC. I see you, multi-peers. Get your shit up.
Maybe he's writing the summary already.
Yeah, dude, writing summaries will not get you MVC. You need to participate, all right?
By the way, Trillion, with the meme I sent you, send the Jordan Peterson one.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Jordan Peterson memes are good. Yeah.
Dude, that one. I cracked.
Dude, the Jordan Peterson is a poor person. Like, I don't know what to say about him besides he's a poor person. All right, let's check this out. I didn't look at it.
All right, here we are with this meme. It's I remember selling their kid on eBay story. Who sells their kid on eBay? That's nuts. That's a child, a living being that you made. That shit goes on Etsy. Clever. See, clever. I like clever. What else we got here?
Now, the Peterson one is golden. Golden.
If you want to organize your psyche, you could start by cleaning up your room. I always knew he was a hypocrite. I always knew. Yes.
The best part about it is his dead face and all that mess. Like, his psyche is clearly not organized.
Dude, that guy goes on so many interviews and so many things, like, and he says he has chronic depression and he takes pills for that shit already. So it's a beautiful picture he painted for himself. It's beautiful. And I love how the only people who got Jordan Peterson are the memes. Viewers didn't catch him, couldn't do anything to him. legislation couldn't do anything to him. Colleges, SJWs, nobody did anything. Nobody could get ahead of Jordan Peterson. Who got it? Memesters. That tells me something. You know, like the power of memes, right? And which segues into one theory that Professor Abbey said here, which is that Donald Trump won the election because of meme culture, which is an interesting theorem I would like for you to explore and tell everybody. How did Trump win by meme culture? And I'm angry that you can smoke cigars in your own room, you fucking bitch. I want one.
Wait, he's a cigar in it? I want one too.
Yep, cigarello. Excuse me.
See, I partially agree with that because I brought it up. I brought it up in one of my classes.
Oh, you see, this is not a cigar. It's called a cigarello, which is French for a faggy cigar.
Yes.
But yeah.
Anyways, Donald Trump, meme culture. Focus.
Donald Trump and meme culture. Basically, like I actually watched a documentary about it and the whole meme culture and how Trump won because of it. And it wasn't made by an SJW. Basically, it says that the way Hillary made her campaign is like, we're the good people. She tried to get the moral high ground. And Trump was losing the moral high ground. But what is the one community in the world and in the US that actually glorifies the not so moral high ground? Meme culture. And basically in meme culture, the more horrible you are, the more popular you are. And you can be saying the truth, you can be logical, but if you say it horribly, you're gonna do well with memes. That's why you see, like, with the whole tweets that he makes, actually people say that you think his tweets are like dumb and he's just doing them like that, but that actually, some people say it's a very calculated move because, you know, like when Elon Musk goes and does weed, you know, like it makes memes come out of this. So the way he's doing it, like memes come out of this. Actually, I've heard a theory that actually even Alex Jones is one of his secret advisors. Like, I've heard a legitimate theory about this. So he basically pandered to those people. He's already a showman. He knows how to basically just generate a hype. And what is meme culture but a hype? And he basically just focused on that. He just focused on that. This is why you see, like, to the last day of the election, he never tried to sound nice, because that's actually his selling point.
Quiet. Dude, Jeb Bush. Quiet.
Oh, Jeb Bush.
You're a tough guy, Jeb. Remember when he...
Louis, did you watch the please clap meme?
I've seen, yeah.
Yeah, when Jeb Bush is like...
I died a little inside the first time.
Did you watch the actual video when he actually said it, like live?
Yes. Yeah, we all.
Please clap.
Dude, poor Jeb. I swear. Like, you know, it's like we've covered this on the stream before. I don't need to get into it. Like every time I get sad when I see Jeb Bush.
R.I.P. Jeb, man. R.I.P. Jeb.
Based on this theory you said, Professor Abbey, who do you predict will be the next president?
Who do I predict to be the next president? Now, this one is tough, mainly because I don't know who's gonna run for president in 2020. There's a very high chance that Trump will actually be elected for a second term. But it only depends on who's gonna run, because there are two people that are very likely to, actually 3 people that are very likely to run. One of them is Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, I don't expect he's gonna win anyway, because Bernie was known as the better Hillary, but when he actually lost the midterm and he joined the Hillary campaign, to me that killed any chance of him in the future, becoming president, honestly. But there are two people that might run. One of them seems like a joke, and it's like the icon of SJWs. There is a very high chance that Oprah would run for president, actually. I think she even kind of confirmed it. I don't know. If she does it, now it's one showman versus one showman or showwoman. That's one thing. Another thing, another person that might run and the entirety of the US loves is Joe Biden. Joe Biden might run. And putting those two people in the mix, I do not know. But from the looks of it so far, Trump is doing good enough to be able to be reelected.
Well, I will say this. I predicted that Trump was going to get reelected. So we'll see if that prediction stands. I'll add another candidate that might run against Trump. The Stormy Daniels lawyer, Michael Avenatti. There's a scandal going on with Trump right now, and that he had sex with a porn star, and the porn star has a lawyer that shows up on every interview as well. And they've asked him to run for president, and he's considered it. He says that that he's strongly considering it.
I don't think he might run. I guess, even though I don't know him, but I don't think he has what Oprah and Joe Biden have, which is like the following. He doesn't look like someone who has a following. So he might run, but I don't think he'll be that much of a threat to Donald Trump.
Oprah's interesting because she would be the face of the new democratic far left socialist movement, because her show is all about you get a car, you get a car, you get it, which is a meme, by the way, as well, right? You get a car, you get a car, right? So it's like, what is she going to be giving everyone health care on her own volition?
No idea. I don't want to know.
No, but I do want to see a show. I've wanted American politics. The only reason I started caring about American politics, and the reason why viewership for ratings and for American politics have started going up in our own country, is because of the drama that it's ensued.
Yep. I watched every debate. I was so hyped in that election. I was watching everything. My only regret is actually not watching the actual vote count live. I was asleep. But yes, the drama. Dude, why do you pay for Netflix if American politics exists? I swear to God.
No, it's our debates had the highest. I remember people saying, and when you see the news, they're obligated to feel surprised and to report it to you as such. So it's like the U.S. debates, the second and third debates had the highest ratings of any debate in a while, or possibly ever. And they were told to act surprised. And the polls came out and Trump and Hillary were neck and neck, and they had to act surprised about all it. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, of course it was popular. You have a goofball versus the devil.
I don't want to ask who is which, but
no one knows to this day.
Dude, I still think that Trump did not win the election. It's just that Hillary lost.
Yes.
Yes. Like, that's how I view it. Like, Trump didn't do anything. Trump just outvoted the Republicans, and the second Bernie lost, Trump won. I remember saying that, if Bernie shows up, I don't know who's gonna win, but if Hillary shows up, Trump wins.
That's what I said too. I said if Bernie shows up, Bernie wins. If it's Hillary versus Trump, then she's gonna get creamed. And she technically won the popular vote, but that's not the basis we run by here.
You see, some people say that like Hillary rigged the midterms, and while that is true, I guess Bernie kind of lost because he used the American forbidden word, socialism. The second he associated himself with socialism, regardless of like maybe his version is better or something. Regardless, using that word in America will not elect you. Like
Dude,
anytime I talk to someone, I'm like, Bernie is sensible. They say, but he's a socialist. He's a socialist.
I thought communist was the word.
I'm not sure, but in the US, both socialism and communism have stigma. Unless
because one
like,
leads to the other, yeah.
Well, right now it's socialism because we have a candidate. Maybe she's kind of, I don't want to say she's a meme, but she's definitely been in a lot of the anti-social justice warrior people's mouths, like Sardon of Akkad and Secular Talk and all those people on YouTube. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's like the new hip young 28-year-old Bernie supporter that is now running as a socialist, and she's getting a lot of hate but she's getting a lot of promotion from the Democratic Party. So it remains to be seen how much they're going to put on her back, being that she's young, she's popular, she's progressive. The Democratic Party is very desperate right now. They're looking for a candidate. So people are wondering if they're going to put the responsibility of presidency at some point in the next decade on her shoulders.
Dude, the Democrats.
I mean, honestly, honestly, if the U.S. Politics is a Netflix shows, these people are the fillers. They're the NPCs. Like, I don't want to make an umbrella term, but you know they're not going to be elected. Like, even in the midterms, you knew it was going to be Hillary and Trump. We kind of expected, like, maybe Bernie, maybe Jeb Bush, but nobody thought maybe Ted Cruz will be president.
I never thought Jeb Bush was gonna. I always thought.
Yeah, even Jeb Bush. Like you had about 14 people in that debate, like for the Republicans and the Democrats. Nobody looked at them and said, "Huh, maybe they're actually good candidates." Nobody was gonna vote for Ted Cruz or what's his name, Carter. You know, like you know it. You know who's gonna be elected, kinda.
I would like to see Ted Cruz versus Donald Trump. That would be a
Democrat.
show.
Dude, you talked about the Democrats trying to find a candidate. You know why they're struggling? Because they're too worried about putting black guys and women as presidents than putting actual candidates. All right? That's like their running gig. Oh, what's the new SJW? Next time they're going to show up with a transgender. After they'll show up with like a helicopter. You know, as like Dude, that's what they're doing.
An attack helicopter.
Yep. Please don't misgender them. Actually, like I wouldn't be surprised that if by the next election, all the candidates of the Democrat Party will have this proportion. Like there has to be one woman, there has to be one black man, there has to be one transgender person. You know, like the proportions they make. Like I have a good feeling that this is what's going to happen.
I'm waiting for the Democratic Party to pull a Trudeau administration.
No.
We're 50% female, and they still get paid less than men. But progressive, right?
Dude. Like, to me, like that's why I think I want personally the Republicans to keep winning, because like when I saw like the debates and I saw the Democrat Party, like it was a bunch of clowns trying to outclown each other. You go to the Republicans, there's the bully, Donald Trump. There's the beta male, Jeb Bush. There's the snail, Ted Cruz, right?
Like, Ted Cruz is the walking punchline.
Yeah, right. Like
the
internet.
The Zodiac Killer meme.
Yep. Dude, the internet killed any chance of Ted Cruz reaching anywhere in his life, right?
And Marco Rubio was just hanging out there looking pretty.
Oh, dude, there was this one black Republican. He's like a doctor, right?
And person.
Yeah, right. And every time they ask him a question, he's like, "That's a very good question. The logic in A, B, C, D, E, F, G," and everybody goes to sleep, right? And then Donald Trump shows us like, "I talk to people in China, all right? I have many good friends in China. They love me there." And some shit that doesn't matter. And everybody starts clapping, right? And you're like, What? Right?
Dude, Arnold Schwarzenegger got elected
the
as our
amount of-
governor.
Of
The
course.
amount of YouTube poops that came out of that debate, the Republican debate.
Dude,
It's
my
beautiful.
favorite one.
I had something.
Dude, my
I had
favorite one is the bad lip reading of the debates. By far, especially Ted Cruz. Just, oh no. It always caught me, man. It's beautiful.
But I do wanna say something that my father told me this when I was young, and he said he prepped me early for voting, even though I was never really excited for the voting ordeal. And he said that he has a policy where he likes to see Republicans in office for 8 years, and then Democrats in office for 8 years, and then back to Republicans for another 8, and then back to Democrats for 8 years. And I asked him why. And he explained to me how if it happens like that, 8 years is enough time for some minor changes to be done. But for the most part, for the traditionalism of the country to stay intact. And so nothing, in short, it's code for saying things will get done in moderation, but nothing major gets done, which means that there's nothing major that hinders the country long term. So one of the biggest complaints with Obama was that he was leaning too far left toward that. He helped spark the whole new 100 genders because he was paying attention to the Tumblrs of the world. Then Trump comes in and he's like, we're going to stop that. We're going to fight back. Okay.
Yep.
Here's racism. Here's bigotry. Here's sexism. We're going to go back to our roots. And then after the 8 years finish and there's fatigue from that, the Democrats are going to come back and try to fix that. And by the time they actually fix it and get it back to normal, the Republicans are going to come back. And then nothing gets done because people get fed up every 8 years with the candidates.
I actually do agree with that. Yeah, go on.
No, like, dude, this is why, like, EA is the shittiest gaming company in existence, because that's the mentality America's stuck in, you know? Like, that's why you guys are just, like, fucked
You
in the head.
compared America to EA. How dare you? We're not that bad.
Dude.
EA is a different level.
I mean, EA talks about a sense of pride and achievement, and America talks about the American dream. Both of them are scams, so...
Both of them are scams, but EA...
Dude,
I have to put EA a couple tiers worse than us.
Take a tour around the world and pretend like you're Spanish, all right? And ask them about Americans. And then you come to me and tell me if they're not EA, all right?
They're not EA. I won't give them EA. I'll give them... What's another bad company? I'll give them Bungie. We can be Bungie.
Ooh.
The Halo people.
The Halo people. They still exist?
Exactly.
Yeah, like
the Destiny people, dude. They're trying so hard to make a comeback, but they're still bad.
It's like, and I mean it not in sense of like America's not relevant anymore. It's that the drama is so relevant that it overshadows any value that we pretended to have in the past. And so that's long gone, the same way that Bungie is long gone with their idea of what good content is.
Dude, like Destiny, Bungie, and these stupid games, right? Like, I like to call they have the Japanese syndrome, which is like the Japanese syndrome is focusing on a certain thing they think is very cool, but nobody cares about except them, right? So you think that this game or this play style or this story or whatever it is good because you like it, and you never get any input from the outside or whatever, or you never do an actual assessment, and that ends up with a shit game that everybody hates.
I actually thank you for opening the topic of games. I have a few rants up my sleeve. About America having that syndrome. No, they do not. Well, America actually has the Hollywood syndrome, which is if it looks cinematic, if it looks flashy, if it has some action in it, if it has like some slow motion explosion, and then the camera goes around the bullet, and then like that makes a good game. That does not
Michael
make a good game. That makes a shit game. This is how you know a shit game. They go for flashiness. That's the problem with the American side of the gaming industry. They go for the flashy, so they don't listen to people. Even they don't think it's cool. Like, I think all of them are dead inside while they're making the games. But this is what sells. This is the, at least they think this is what sells. Yeah, that's the syndrome.
And
Japan
you know
has the Hitler syndrome, which is I only care about my nation. Does the Japanese audience like this? Even though most of it, like, we have a lot of sales overseas, does the Japanese audience like this? Like, does the Japanese incels and the kids and the middle-aged moms like this? Then we shall make it.
dude, my favorite thing about gaming is like all the companies that make actual good respectable games are almost always not American, and some of them barely come from Japan and only from certain niche studios. So all the AAA guys just like forgot the meaning of a good game, right? And they just like, it's like a copy paste formula. It's almost like, you know, those TV, like detective TV shows, you know what's gonna happen, right? 10 minutes there'll be a suspicion, then it's the wrong guy, and then they're gonna use some weird convoluted deus ex machina science to prove this guy's innocence or lack thereof or guilt or whatever. And that's the episode. Next episode, dun dun, you know, and you just continue, right?
Everyone, Law and Order is a meme too,
Yes.
just because of that, right? It's that little sound effect, dun dun.
Right.
There are
like,
Me Too memes that have that meme in them.
yeah, like that's the annoying part, is that like I think gaming is taking the bad things out of TV shows and movies because they think that's just standard convention, right? And they're sticking to it. Like, how many MBAs do we have to get before you actually make the game good? Right? How many FIFAs do we need? How many tennis games before you start making it a base game and you just update it like an actual respectable company? Right?
Dude, don't get me started on Call of Duty. They take
That
the
exists.
cake. Dude, at least sports video games, like, I wouldn't even like call them like appropriate video games. They're like, they pander to a certain type of people who like to play sports, but on TV. It's supply and demand, honestly. But when you make an actual game, like let's say Call of Duty, and you just make the same thing, but just change like some little things, like we already know it. It gets shit real fast. And what happens? This trend dies, and then the battle royale starts, and then same pattern.
I agree, which is why if you want a good game, I highly recommend.
Really?
Dude, open the CD box. You might find some dust there because Spider-Man is dead.
Oh.
Dude, I've heard good things about this game. Everybody from my friends who watched this last stream, and they saw Louis getting like Spider-Man out. Everybody's like, I hope he enjoys the game as much as I did, because everybody thought it was a really fun game to play. I don't know about the gameplay. I never played it, but everybody's saying that it's a really fun game, and that
it's a very decent middle of the road game. The reason why I enjoy it is because I've been away from consoles for so long, so it just gave me something to do. And I saw these glimpses of addiction, just me sitting there for hours. But otherwise, I acknowledge that it's a very average game. It has an average story. People just like swinging. Like, if you watch all the commentaries or all the walkthroughs, people spend more time swinging around than they do actually playing the game.
Yeah, like the thing about Spider-Man and the Marvel games in general, like they know what they are. They won't release a new game every year and hype you up for the new Spider-Man. Like, when was the last Spider-Man released before that? Like,
I think
PS3
2015.
one, I think. Something like that. Like, I only remember the PS3 one, the Spider-Man 3. Like, people want it because they want to swing, and they know it. It's fine. I wouldn't really call it a bad game, mainly because of that.
It's a time passer, right?
Yep, it's a time passer, and it knows that. It knows that. That's what I like. They wouldn't hype it, you know?
I made a video on this, but I'd like to take your takes on this as well, which is, like, to me, what makes a good game, right?
Oh.
Like, what are the elements that makes a game good? And I'm not talking about the genre and specifically, like, I'm not talking shooters, I'm not talking anything. What makes a game good? And don't give me the generic answer of, oh, it has to be fun. That's a given. I'm talking like something more. Like, if somebody comes to you and he wants to make a game and he's asking you, like, what makes a game good? I want a base here. Like, what would you all say, including Louis, regardless of how noobish you are in the field? I would like to get your take as well.
You want me to go first?
Up to you guys. Like, whoever has the answer first, go ahead.
All right. I'll use the Spider-Man game as an example. Actually, I think it fits here. A game where there is enough freedom in order to explore what was meant by the creators to be explored. So what I mean by this is there's a lot of games like the Call of Duty franchise, for example, where they make it intentionally, even with the campaign, but the entire focus is on the multiplayer. And they can't even get that right because it's constantly breaking. It's constantly, and it's screwed up. And they approach it in a way to where they know that people are just going to buy it because it's the new Call of Duty. So they'll fix things as they go. And that's why you notice a lot of problems in the beta, and they don't fix everything initially. And also it's extremely predictable how the game is going to be played from the very start. The reason why Spider-Man appealed to so many people, I believe, is because you have the web slinging, which is, first of all, it's self-aware. It knows what it's trying to be. There's the web slinging. That's the main appeal of the game. That's what every reviewer, that's what every preview was hyping up. With the web slinging, you get to explore the world, and there's so many side missions, and they know that in order to get to those side missions, you have to use the web. So they orchestrated it in a way to where they set one part of the game up in order to benefit another part of the game. And because of that, there's the freedom that people are willing to explore it, as opposed to just being stuck on the map and being, all right, I have to do this mission now, or this mission, or that mission. It makes you want to use the mechanics of the game to your advantage, as opposed to, all right, my friends want to play Battlefield. I guess I'll or Fortnite, right? That's another one. I guess I'll do it, right? And then I have to, okay. And there's a routine to it, and everyone knows how you're supposed to play that game, and it gets repetitive and boring. There are people that completed this game in like the first night that it came out, and then they're still playing it, and they say that they will keep playing it for a while, and there's a spark in their eyes because they explain that to me. Like there's a need for it in terms of what the creators wanted to do and what they knew they were making with it, as opposed to other games that are just so up their own ass because they know that it's just a cash grab and it's so predictable. If that makes any sense.
No, that does make sense. That does make sense. But I guess if I'm gonna say what makes a good game, first of all, like there are a lot of games, so many genres, we can't really like put them all together. But if I'm gonna give a general answer, like there are some games that you know they're horrible from like the first 5 minutes. We're gonna exclude this, like they're so bad. But if we talk about like the middle area of games, what makes a good game good? If I'm gonna give a general, just a general opinion, a game is good when the mechanics of it, like if you project it over time, if you play it for a long time, does the mechanics of the game become a liability, or do they contribute to the game? So like if it has like a gimmick to it or something to it, any element in the game, if after a while, if you play it for hours, it starts to become a liability, an obstacle, and it actually ruins the game, this is when it becomes not fun. So like, for example, let's say Overwatch. Overwatch had this element where like every character has their own thing and each one of them is unique and all of that. The idea might seem great and you'll have fun the first 2 hours. But after a while, you'll realize that it will become a liability because there will be a very tight meta and not any character can do the job of the other character, so you have to be very specific and all of that. It becomes a liability. The liability can also be boringness. Like this element can become boring after a while if you project it over time. Another example of a game that I think did it well is actually the game I call the best game of all time, which is Okami. I already like look at Babushka. It's like you talked about this a million times, but Okami, the gimmick of it is that you draw something, like you freeze time, you draw something, and then it appears. That's the gimmick. It has a story, it has battle, but this is the main gimmick. If you project it over time, it doesn't become a liability because your drawing becomes faster. It becomes intuitive. At first, like you're gonna spend like a whole minute trying to draw something, but after a while, it will be like 2 seconds. So that gimmick, when you projected it over time, when you play it for a while, it doesn't become a liability. It doesn't take away from the game. It actually adds to it. So if you want to make a game and you want to make sure it's good, project it over time. Look, like if someone plays it for 200 hours, would it still be fun? Would the elements still contribute to the game, or will they take away from it? And yeah, that's my answer.
All right, Babushka.
Okay, so where do I start? Do I start with multiplayer or single player games? Because multiplayer games, after a couple of matches, you would get bored from the game, just like Overwatch. As the first 50 hours of playing the game, it's like doing a chore. You have to play a specific character to satisfy your team. You're not playing to have fun. So, as an example, for me, I play Rainbow Six Siege because it has a couple of maps. At the same time, every experience or every round is different from different operators, and you can play any operator you want. You can approach in any way you want. That's my multiplayer example. Like, you have to make a multiplayer game with every round different, every player, not caring about another player playing a specific character. You have to play your own way. At the same time, you have fun in this different way playing the game. And what I would say for single player games, the element of exploring the map for open world games, you have to just put some stunning graphics, or no, you don't need that actually, but it has to have, it has to have the stunning elements to explore more, see what's beyond the map. Maybe as an example, I would say that for the Crew 2, a racing game, it has the map is the whole US, and you just change cars, whatever, drive around, change your car into a plane, fly around, explore the map. And for example, also GTA, but GTA is just adding elements for their own currency. Okay, so they're just adding a couple of vehicles. They're adding mansions and shit that are expensive, but they're doing this at the same time, releasing free expansions. But it's not actually free. They're adding stuff to the expansion that you should buy, either grinding for like the currency in the game to buy those stuff, or you buy those credits to buy the stuff in the expansion. And let's get back to the exploration thing. What I like about open world games, for an example, The Witcher, I didn't play it. I didn't play the whole game, but I saw a couple of gameplays. It has a lot of destinations, a lot of side quests that make you, excited. They hype you up. You won't get bored from the game after a couple of hours. At the same time, Skyrim has a lot of side quests. Gives you a lot of activities. Find a specific spell, complete your shouts. Grind for weapons. Make your own armor and weapon, which is another activity you can do in the game. And as long as the single player game gives you this, more activity and more exploration, element, makes the game much more fun. So yeah, that's my idea about a good single player game.
Actually, just to expand on this point about exploration, it actually does relate to my point a lot, because you see, exploration is good. It gives you like richness to the game and all of that. But to the point I made, which is when the gimmick of the game becomes a liability, a classic example I can give is Pokemon, especially the new Pokemon games. They have a very huge world. They have very interesting, or like not interesting, honestly, but like they have like the grinding element. You can get your own Pokemon. They have every town has people. Sometimes they give you quests. But here's the deal: it has open world. It has a lot of content, but it's bad content. So after a while, actually, the grinding becomes bad. It becomes an obstacle, a liability. You want to get through it. The side games and basically the side things that you can do, the activities, like you said, it's so boring and badly designed that actually becomes an obstacle. You're like, can I just pass through it? Just get on with the game. So even when you have these elements, I think that as long as you just design them well enough that you don't get sick of them after a while. Like apply that rule to any game you played that you thought is good or you thought is bad. I'd say I'm fairly confident that you'd find that all the games you thought are bad had something about them that may have seemed cool in the beginning, but then it became a liability. It became an obstacle that stops you from the fun.
Also, Trillian, before you answer, I'd like to ask this, and I think this is another one of the givens, and Abby somewhat spoke on this, but the mechanics of the game, always so crucial. He said if you'll realize if a game is shit usually within the first 5 minutes. It usually has to do with the controls. If the controls are so broken from the start, and it's amazing how some games these days still are, but I remember like old PS2 games, which I believe is arguably the best console ever made. Some of the fighting games were so broken, and you couldn't change the options for where the buttons were. And it was such a liability from the very start. And you just knew, I have to get through this because I paid $60 for it. But otherwise, as soon as I finish it, just to say that I finished it, I'm never going to pick it up again. You have to think like a gamer. I think that was my underlying or overlying point at the very from the start. It was the people who make the game should think like the person who's going to be playing it, instead of detaching themselves and just thinking of themselves the same way that Trillian explained as like the artist. I'm the artist, and if they don't get my game, then shame on them. They're the consumer. They're the ones who are going to be playing it. Do they want to come back?
Actually, Trillian, just before you make your point, just a little quick, one more point. Actually, that's an interesting thing you said, which is they have to think like gamers. And the way I'd say it, how would they think like gamers if they want to think like gamers? Actually, it's the same tip that a video game composer has to do, because I do some video game composing. And one of the tips I've read is that when you compose the song for the video game, the soundtrack, always have this mentality. What would someone think if they listen to this for hours? Because if they're in a stage and or a level, and they will keep listening to the theme for hours. So is it those type of themes that if you listen to it for hours, it will give you a headache? Or would it, like, you won't even feel it? I think it's the same mentality for game designers. When they add a mechanic, when they do the controls, they need to think, like, if someone did this for hours, would it still be fun? To me, that's like a very important element on how to think like a gamer, because you have to project it over time. Like, after a while, would you get sick of it or not? So yeah, Trillian, go ahead, sorry.
One last point, Trillian, before you go. Hold on. When it comes to Abby's point, there's no better example of that disaster than if anyone remembers the Nintendo or the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES, Ghostbusters. I actually played the old Ghostbusters game, and there's a part where you have to just go up the stairs, right? Everyone knows this legendary, terrible gameplay scene. And the music, the Ghostbusters theme, never fucking stops. And it's 33 floors of you having to dodge ghosts with a D-pad. You can watch gameplay. There are people who are freaking out as they're playing it. And you can't mute the screen either because the sound effects add that the ghosts make let them know that let the gamers know that they're coming. Oh, it's one of the worst games I've ever had the privilege or the lack thereof of playing. Continue now.
Are you sure? No more points? Come on, people. No?
We know you're just
All right.
waiting.
Do you want me to make a point?
No, by all means, because I asked the question, and I already made my point in the video. So, like, by all means, you guys can.
No, I mean, like, do you want me to generate a point now just to shut you up?
Well, no, but.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, generally, it's very simple. The way I see the multiplayer games, single player games, whatever they are, as far as I'm concerned, people keep on.
What?
There are two. What?
You lagged so hard.
God damn it.
Good luck, boy.
Okay, again. Okay, where did I lag off?
Everything.
From the beginning, everything.
Okay, brilliant. All right, so, okay, maybe the hat needs to go. All right. So, again, there are two paths that the game can take, as far as I'm concerned, into which market to appeal to. Linear or versatile, and I'm making these terms as I go. These aren't terms that anybody uses. Linear, as in the game is the same, and it's basically how good you beat it. So the knowledge and the sharing of knowledge and online and stuff like that is what makes the game interesting. And the game is always the same. It's just how your style of beating it that differs. And then there are games that are almost always different every time you play them. So because they're like roguelikes, where they're like, oh, every time the map is different, so you have to adapt to that. Or grand strategy, where everything, like all the elements are kind of randomized, so your skill level determines how good you are, but also, like, there are a lot of things outside of your control that you need to prepare for or deal with, and that's what makes the game fun. That it's every time it's different. Think games like Civilization or whatever. And a good example of another game that was linear is something like Skyrim or Dark Souls. Like, everybody is where they should be, and it's just how you decide to go about it. While the other one is like, no, like the game decides, and you sort of have to deal with it and move around and like use your own skill level in order to deal with whatever random situation that encounters you. And I think a good game is a game that decides one or the other. That's the first thing. And then does that thing really, really well. And if it's linear, it has to be conversation worthy, i.e. people need to generate some sort of community. The reason why Dark Souls got so much traction and Skyrim got so much traction is because people kept talking about it. which got more people interested into playing it or replaying it in the styles that other people did. While in a game like Grand Strategy or whatever, roguelikes and stuff like that, people are exchanging tips and tricks on how to deal with the randomness. So pick one of the two, and then have a way not only to make it replayable and make people want to revisit it, you have to make people want to talk about it and their experience. So you kind of like make it like CrossFit. You have to talk about it. Like if you do CrossFit, you have to talk about it. I've seen it. There's an urge. You went through hell and you need to express it somehow. Like being in a war zone or something.
Game, don't they? Wouldn't that be the shit?
Like that would be like, to me, the abstraction of how to make a good game. You pick one of these two and then you proceed to make it interesting enough for people to talk about it. And that's my 2 cents on it.
I think I think word of mouth is valued a little bit more than reviews these days, for sure.
Oh, too much water.
You'd rather hear it that something is good from your friend or even a YouTuber that you trust as opposed to IGN.
Dude,
like I didn't watch everyone ever.
Dude, Legend of Zelda on the Switch. Okay, Legend of Zelda on the Switch. That Breath of the Wild.
Oh, please.
That piece of shit of a game got 10 scores in every review site out there. People played it and gave it 10 scores everywhere. I remember. And then we opened the game. Yeah, we opened the game, all right? And I swear that's a beta. That's not a game. That's the beta version, right? I'm literally playing a beta game, and somehow people think it deserves a 10 out of 10. It doesn't even have soundtracks. It doesn't even have that Zelda thing where it doesn't even have it properly. Like everything is wrong. Weapons break too quickly. This is like a beta testing. I'm beta testing a game here, and it got 10s out of 10s. What critic reviewed this? Are you guys kidding me? Right?
A very rich critic now.
Like, yeah, fair enough. I guess. Like, okay, Nintendo like emptied the pockets on that one. I guess. Like that's what the fuck? Like, why are people so hyped about this? Because it has Zelda on it? No.
Yes, that's exactly why people are hyped about it. People will buy bad Zelda games before they'll buy a brand that's completely different. Believe it or not.
Like,
good.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, that game is the classic example of open world being a liability. Like the distance you have to walk on empty land. Like when you have open world, you expect there will be NPCs. You expect there will be people. There's nothing. Like one village with like 2 people and another like hut with 1 person. The game is empty. The game is basically like post-apocalyptic type of game, but they took it too far because there's no NPCs. And the problem is there's not even a soundtrack. Imagine this, you're walking distances with no soundtrack. Imagine this. The game is hardly a 4. Like, I played a few Zelda games. I really like the Zelda games. But I have enough decency to look at this and say, this is a fucking piece of shit. This is hardly a 4. Like, I'm being generous if I give it 4 out of 10.
Yet it got 10 out of 10 everywhere. And that gives me pain inside my chest.
Well, at least my theory is valid about it. Because I told you about my theory about Breath of the Wild, right?
Yes, you said it. It's a promotion tactics to tell the people that the Switch can actually handle good systems and everything. I get it. Still, like Odyssey could have easily done that. And Odyssey is amazing.
Funny enough, Odyssey is amazing, but to me, it's still kind of empty. Like, I wish there was more to Odyssey. Like, Odyssey seemed a little underwhelming. I wish there was more stuff. Nothing beats Super Mario Galaxy. It's still the top Mario game. I wished it would have topped Mario Galaxy, but it didn't, honestly. But still, the point stands. It's way better than Zelda. Way better. Anything is better than Zelda. Okay, Call of Duty is better than Zelda. How about that?
Yeah, like at least I'm killing people.
Yep.
Like, yeah, like it's just sad. Like I'm sad that I really came with good expectations for the game, 10s out of 10s by everyone. So I'm like, I'm gonna trash it because I have a Zelda bias, or I'm biased against Zelda, right? I'm supposed to trash it, but I'll be a hypocrite, you know, like I'll trash it for comedy's sake. But then the game actually turned out trash, and I got disappointed. Because here I am thinking I'll have a great experience, at least just watching the game, to the point where I get jealous and buy the same game so I can have the experience at home. And now I'm dealt with this shit, a waste of money, a literal waste of money, right? I just threw my money in the trash and got it, and this game popped out, you know?
Do you guys know that that franchise with like the flying purple dragon, Spyro or Spyro?
Spyro.
Yes,
Do
Spyro.
That's
people?
my childhood.
It was mine too, but do they still make Spyro
Oh,
games?
do not get me started on Spyro.
Okay, because I saw something about it and I was surprised.
Dude,
I refuse to acknowledge any Spyro game that wasn't made before 2005.
Thank you. Spyro suffered the same problem and the same tragedy that happened to Crash Bandicoot, actually. Like when it started on the PS1, it was amazing. Like our childhoods was that. But then on PS2, they released like one good game, same as Crash, ironically, one good PS2 game, and then the shit started. And what happened to Spyro is actually they rebranded it to Skylanders. So now there's more characters, and now you use stuff like figures you put on the console to get the character. It became fucking Fortnite. Same thing with Crash Bandicoot. Like after they released that PS2 game that was good, it started getting shit, and then they made the gimmick of Crash Titans, basically Crash battles Titans. And have you ever seen the death of a franchise so clear? Like you can pinpoint the day it died. That's what happened to both Spyro and Crash. Like it's a childhood tragedy to me, you know?
Hey, at least it's not on the IV like fucking Sonic.
Oh, Sonic.
That was my next question. Do they still make Sonic games?
Oh yeah,
Sonic,
they try.
Dude, Sonic is the classic example of edgy fan base and a very weak development team because they listen to these edgy people. Sonic was going great, and then they released Sonic 06. Have you heard of Sonic 06?
I have.
Did you play it?
No. For good
Yes,
reason,
they
I
did.
hope.
No. Ironically, no. Sonic 06 was one of the best Sonic games that you can ever play. And I say that with full confidence. The game had a good story. Have you ever played a Sonic game that actually makes you cry at the end? That's Sonic 06. The game was difficult. Have you ever repeated the Sonic game, a Sonic level, like 5 times because it's actually difficult and challenging? The game was amazing. But why did people hate it? Because most of the fan base of Sonic is actually the people who want, like the old school people, like they wanted, like, why did you make it 3D? You should have made it 2D. And it didn't help that the game had bugs, some bugs. I played the game, I enjoyed it. The bugs honestly didn't like break immersion. The bugs were like fine. Okay, it had some bugs. It's fine. But overall, it was an amazing game, honestly. But what happened? These people retaliated. They're like, no, it's a bad Sonic game. And since that day, Sega did not recover. They're still trying to know what to do with Sonic because they're trying to advance, but these people are so harsh on them and they need to pander for them. So Sonic right now doesn't know what it is. One day they release a 2D Sonic game. They release Sonic Forces where you make your own fucking persona to play alongside Sonic. Like it became a shit show. And it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. This is why you don't always listen to the fans. Sometimes they do, but don't always listen to the fans. Save your franchise. Yep.
Innovation is a very scary predicament. You need to innovate to keep up with the times, especially when you have a franchise that you're trying to keep on the lifeline. But too much innovation, and then the old heads decide to pull back or retaliate, like you said.
funny enough, it wasn't even that much of innovation because there was a 3D Sonic game before it on the Gamecast, I think. Like the Gamecast one was great. But since the Gamecast days, they were already like skeptical. They're like, oh, 3D Sonic, like they didn't take the concept well. And then Sonic 06 with the bugs in it, basically like that was the last straw for them. And yeah, we're in bad times.
On that note, we need to go ahead and end this. You guys probably woke up early, so it would help you guys to go get some naps. I need to go to sleep as well, and so do the commenters. But before we go, I'm going to go ahead and award the MVC, the most valuable comment, to Malak Sanka, who possibly only won because of how much he spammed today. But don't worry, because next time all the big dogs are coming, so it's not going to be so easy this time. But still, congratulations nonetheless. You had a lot of gems in there. Hopefully, we read them.
Congratulations.
In other words, let's go ahead and give our closing statements.
Yeah, we usually do closing statements and shout outs. So, like everybody, if you want to do anything, go ahead.
Or none.
That
All right.
This
No, why is nobody starting? Come on,
silence.
the guests do it first. Okay, I'm gonna roll call. Babushka.
Okay, again, congrats for the MVC. I'm just tired. I'm barely awake. That's why
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed. Yeah, I noticed. All right, just shout out to the bed that you're gonna jump on once we're done with this.
No, I'm probably not gonna sleep. I'm just gonna take a cup of coffee and go on with the day. That's
Fair
gonna
enough.
happen.
All right, Professor Abby, any closing comments, shout outs?
Shout outs. I guess shout out to the jewel that's probably cringing everybody right now. And my closing statement is that I like to think I'm a kind person, but honestly, game developers are the reason we need Auschwitz again. Like, I'd Auschwitz them myself. Keep the standard high. Do not lower the standard for anything you do, especially that comic. And by the way, change the meme font, okay? The meme font will haunt me tonight. I cannot take my nap because of that shit font. Change it.
I would like to give a shout out to the MVC because he had to wake up at 6 to make it to the stream. I had to wake up at 6 too. The stream was at 7 for me, but I had to wake up at 6 to prepare for it as usual. So yeah, shout out to you for being as conscientious as me.
And I guess on my end, I would like to shout out everyone who decided to join us on this stream, the guests and the commenters. Stay tuned for next week, which is the finale to the Anime Law Season 3, and you will be seeing a lot of familiar faces from this season. Maybe some of the ones from here. So stay tuned, and also stay tuned a little bit later tonight because I have a treat that's going to be dropping. And I encourage all of you to go check it out as well. So on that note, I will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us. And I will see you guys later.
Peace.